back in the state. He's going to be touting that message and how we're bringing more jobs back to America.
That's right. And he spent some time talking with Carl Higbie just yesterday. So that was great to have him on Newsmax as well. And finally, looking ahead to Sunday, some big celebrations in D.C. with the America 250 Grand Prix race event. That's going to be awesome. You've got race cars just driving through downtown D.C., passing by all the monuments. You
know how loud it's going to be in D.C. with those engines going, wing. But yeah, no, this would be really cool. I mean, we saw something similar in Las Vegas, but I mean, in D.C., we've had throughout the week people on talking about how they've had to shut down the streets. They have to fix the potholes too, which is a good thing for D.C. Just after this race, they'll have some nice smooth road.
Welcome home to theDove TV, encouraging and informative for the Pacific Northwest and Northern California.
Good morning. You're tuned to theDove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on theDove.
Well, good morning to you. Happy Friday. Welcome to Mornings on theDove. This is it. This is the happy place. This is where Jerry gets all excited. So much so that when he leaves, he has to go home and take a 4-hour nap.
Well, how did you know?
Well, thank you, Pam, for letting me know.
I got to get the rest of my night's sleep. You know, get up at 3:30 in the morning. You know, it takes its toll.
I know, it does. It wakes you up. Anyway, good morning to you. Happy Friday. It took us 4 days to get here. We finally made it. Anyway, good morning. A lot going on in the news. There always is. We'll get you caught up on that. Weather-wise, we should start backing down temperature-wise a little bit today, at least in our backyard. And we'll see how it goes, but we're heading in the right direction at least.
Checking the temperature out there. It stayed pretty warm overnight.
It did. Quite mild. Quite mild. So anyway, a lot going on in the news. Anything special today?
Well, you know, speaking of that 4-hour nap, it's National Senior Citizen Day. Recognizing the achievements of the more mature representatives of our nation. The day provides an opportunity to show our appreciation for their dedication, accomplishments, and services that they give throughout their lives. I think the only question is, what is a senior citizen these days? You know, they say 60's the new 50, 70's the new 60, and of course 9 p.m. is my new midnight.
Yes. Well, I think that in order to protect Social Security, aren't they trying to raise the retirement limit to 70?
Yeah, they're trying to do that. So, but you know, there's always that big debate, when should you take it anyway? You can take it at 62, but if you don't and you let it rise to 70, it will rise 34% in its value. What investments can you do that will rise 34% in 8 years?
See? So then the other thing is it solvent?
No, it's not. Well, in 34, it's going to become insolvent. And, you know, wait a minute, I'm listening. I don't hear many solutions coming out of Washington, D.C. What's the national debt right now?
40 trillion.
With a T.
T.
But nobody has this solution. But the last administration thought it was a good idea to let about 15 million people undocumented across the border, and many of which will sign up for Social Security and get it.
Okay, so you're hitting on all the cylinders here.
Oh, man.
So it has to be looked at seriously, and it will.
Yeah.
It will. But it's always it's kind of like education in a state budget. It's always the last thing to do to raise taxes.
Yeah.
So this will be some hot potato.
Why? And the other thing too is we have to look at it. Social Security. You know, we know the Ponzi schemes in the United States are illegal, but the government runs the biggest Ponzi scheme in the history of mankind, and they get away with it. They have robbed Social Security over and over again, and there are studies that have shown when there have been some leaders who have talked about privatizing Social Security, and they have shown what our investment would be worth, the amount that has been taken out of our paychecks through the years with the government-run Social Security, and what it would have been if they had allowed that to happen. Many of us would be significantly better off.
Well, you know, quickly. I won't get into the long story.
Come on, man.
When I was running for Congress, this was an issue. And there was this big move by the Republicans to put a lockbox on Social Security because the D's wanted to go in there and rob it and all. It was all political nonsense. But part of the solution was that you should have the option to either have money taken out, put into Social Security, or you could have put it into your own retirement plan.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Directly by your employer, funding whatever it wanted to be, a 401k or whatever.
Whatever.
Retirement plan. Okay? And I championed that. Okay? Which I would still do it today.
How did that work out for you?
So on Thursday, the election was on Tuesday. On Thursday, my opponent dropped a mail piece to all of the retirement centers in Southern Oregon saying that Perry Atkinson wanted to take your Social Security away.
So you were the guy that was going to take Grandma and roll her off the edge of the cliff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a two-edged sword. But to your point, if people were given the knowledge and the wherewithal to self-invest what has gone into Social Security, at the time of retirement, you would have been probably 2.5 times greater.
At least, yes. Yep, you are right.
But that requires knowledge, too.
Yeah, but, not a lot because, there are some pretty basic mutual funds available out there that could significantly outperform what we're getting in Social Security.
Okay.
So,
well,
how about that? That just took off. I thought, we're just going to talk a little bit about, what is a, senior citizen?
What is a senior citizen? Let's see. Wait a minute. A guy that sits in his rocking chair and can't get it going?
Okay, enough said.
Okay.
Moving on.
A person who's all black, the little names in the black book are all doctors.
Well, now that's
somebody
good.
that sinks their teeth into a steak and they stay there. That's a senior citizen.
Oh, I like this. Good. All right. I hope not all of those, fall into your realm. But also, it is National Fantasy.
Your pacemaker makes the garage door go up.
Oh, you got a million of them. That's good.
I always practice them just in case.
Oh, my gosh. That just comes right off the tip of your tongue, too. That's good.
All right.
It's National Fantasy Football Draft Day. Get your calendar, spreadsheets, and pray your sleeper pick doesn't get snatched one spot ahead of you. There are a lot of people that are into this fantasy football thing, huh?
More than I thought.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I got other things to do. Be fantasized by a stupid football team.
Well, yeah. And a lot of it is going on in the workplace.
Yeah.
Well, right. Yeah, what did you get done today? Well, I drafted my fantasy football team.
There you go. Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. And you know what? They have special reports on it, on some of the news broadcasts. And it's kind of crazy. But I don't know. It is one of the largest sports traditions in the United States. And, of course, millions of fans gather with friends, family, coworkers, and rivals to celebrate the unofficial start of football season. So pick your team and good luck to you. It's also only one thing to consume, National Spumoni Day.
Oh.
Yeah, celebrating.
Our friends over there in Grants Pass that make it? Remember they brought it in?
Oh, yeah.
In fact, they brought one of those big blocks of that stuff in.
And it goes, you do it in slices, it's almost like a slice of cake. And
it's really good.
It is. It's a frozen treat which hails from southern Italy. And traditionally, 3 molded layers of flavored gelato create a unique dessert. The creamy creation often includes candied fruits and nuts, and 2 layers with a 3rd chocolate layer. And you're right, we got treated to this, and it was very good.
Very good.
So enjoy. Don't have too much of it. I'm sure that the calorie intake is probably above what National Senior Citizens Day allows you. But it's all good.
Well, you're a senior citizen when your main meal's at 2 o'clock. Let's check in with Alfred.
Here's a look at today's weather from Grange Co-op. Across northern Oregon and southern Washington, cloudy skies for Vancouver and a high of 83. Portland reaches 84, Wilsonville tops out at 86, and McMinnville sees increasing clouds with a high of 84. Through the Willamette Valley, cloudy conditions continue with highs from 82 to 84 degrees. Salem reaches 84, Albany 83, Corvallis 82, and Eugene 83. Central Oregon turns hot with areas of smoke in Prineville and a high of 95. Bend reaches 91 with patchy smoke. Sun River hits 90 with patchy smoke, then cloudy skies. Boise stays hot with a high of 102. Along the Oregon coast, decreasing clouds bring a high of 67 in Coos Bay. Port Orford is partly sunny at 62. Brookings sees decreasing clouds with a high of 53. And Crescent City starts with patchy fog before mostly cloudy skies and 60. Across southern Oregon, gradual clearing develops in Grants Pass with a high of 92. Medford sees decreasing clouds in 94. Ashland stays cloudy with a high of 91. And Klamath Falls reaches 89 under mostly cloudy skies and a red flag warning. In Northern California, Wairika stays cloudy with a high of 93. Redding sees decreasing clouds in 95. Chico's mostly sunny at 94. And Fort Bragg sees decreasing clouds with a high of 59. Around the Bay Area, patchy fog gives way to partly sunny skies in Santa Rosa with a high of 80. Napa's partly sunny at 79. San Francisco's partly sunny with a high of 68. And San Francisco reaches 80 with decreasing clouds. For Central California, mostly sunny skies bring Sacramento to 91, while Stockton Modesto are partly sunny at 90. Fresno Visalia reached 99, and Bakersfield climbs to 101 under hot conditions. And that's a look at your Friday weather from Grange Co-op.
Hi, good morning to you. This is a beautiful shot from Mount Antelope down in Wairika, and that's looking out towards Mount Shasta.
Beautiful.
So we have some clouds over the top, and a little bit of smoke still in the area, moving around, so it kind of comes and goes, but a beautiful shot. So we'll see what I saw something yesterday, and I don't know if it's true, because so I'll ask you. You know everything.
Oh, yeah. Give it a shot.
I'll give it a shot. You're not a senior citizen yet.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're reading about this El Nino coming in.
Yeah.
And apparently it is real, and apparently it is going to do everything that everybody says it's going to do.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, we've had what they call 3 super El Ninos since 1980.
Okay.
Which means you'll see a weather pattern charge starting to change somewhere right now in August, and it's supposed to deliver quite a bit of rain and snow through the winter.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
Well, then I saw something yesterday, and I can't back it up. So I don't take this as true.
What?
But maybe somebody can verify it, that our first major storm could be as early as September 3rd.
Really?
Yeah. And so I went online trying to track this down. And it pops up over here, but I go, hey, what is this source? What is it? And it's talking about El Nino, and I go, I don't know about that. But anyway, the El Nino pattern is very much in place for a third. Now, this would be a fourth, what they call major El Nino for this coming season.
And it's needed.
Oh, boy.
Although, you know, there are those dangers that come with it as well.
Yeah. So there's a couple things that come with this that it kind of shows that something's going on.
Okay.
Acorns are falling sooner.
Oh, okay.
Peaches are, and pears are ripening
earlier?
sooner.
Okay.
Sooner.
All right.
Okay, and they're thinking maybe even the vineyards will ripen sooner because of the heat, and then the sudden turn in the temperature.
Okay.
So that's all dealt with sugar content. Most of the hay guys may get one more cut. Most have already been cut off because of water.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Kind of an interesting cycle out there. You know, if you don't have any ag background, then I just made a lot of nonsense to you, and I'm acting like a senior citizen. So,
are you looking at the almanac at all these days?
No. Well, the almanac is interesting. The only thing the almanac's good for, no, it's good reading. I enjoy reading it, but it tells you when to plant your potatoes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So that's usually pretty accurate.
All right. Yeah.
Because it deals with the cycle of the moon.
Hey, spuds are important. We have National Potato Day here, and it seems to come around quite often, but who's counting?
Okay.
All right.
Where did all this go? I have no idea.
It's okay.
All right.
Well, you know, we like especially talk in hopes of Super El Nino. You know, especially after what we had last year. We need some snow in them there hills.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, referring to Jesus' tale of 2 roads, Billy Graham asks, which one are you on?
You were born to live forever, and you cannot be unborn. You cannot stop the process. You can change the direction of your life. Jesus said there are 2 roads in life, a broad road and a narrow road. The broad road leads to destruction, and the narrow road leads to eternal life. And you're on one or the other tonight. Every person here tonight is on one of those roads. You can change roads. But you cannot change the fact that you're a living soul and that you're going to live somewhere forever. That's a sobering thought. And you've only got a few minutes or a few hours or a few days or a few weeks or months to make the decision which road you're going to be on.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that there's a question that comes out of that.
What?
Or a statement. You're going to live somewhere forever.
Yeah.
The question is, do you know where?
Yeah.
Okay. And that provokes a lot of conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good conversation starter, too.
Yeah, yeah. Where are you going to spend eternity?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to be out in the abyss. Oh.
Well, good luck with that.
How's that
sound
like? Does that sound like something you want to go to?
And how about the other one? Well, I hope
Well, I've been good.
Yeah. Yes, that's. How good have you been?
Well, I mean,
compared to who?
I open doors for ladies.
Yes.
Okay.
I barely honk at people when they cut me off.
Yeah, I don't park in handicap zones.
Yeah. I do.
Temporarily.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, good morning to you. A lot going on there. Let's check out some of the top stories for you today. And there's quite a few things going on. The president sounds the alarm of, quote, crazy Iran, says regime would use the nuclear weapon without question. And I think most people realize now that the Iran wants a nuke, and they don't want a nuke for citizen enhancement.
Right.
They want a nuke to kill people.
Yeah.
Okay. And so the determination between the United States and Israel is to denuke Iran. And so here we are again talking about this, and I don't know what the plan is and how they plan to do this, but this whole war effort will be a total failure if they don't accomplish that part of it. And I don't know what the plans are, but they're going to continue with what they call unprecedented economic isolation on Iran, which means the citizens of Iran are going to suffer.
Yeah.
And the point is that their regime is getting all of the goodies and they're starving to death, and will that cause some kind of civil unrest?
Right.
And can they arm them to do that?
Yeah.
Which is kind of an interesting plan. But in the meantime, the fight over the straits and all that continues.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
So, if you read the stories about the USS Abraham Lincoln and the fatigue factor of the crew, it was clearly denied constantly. However, that particular ship has been at sea over 250 days, and there's some truth to this. So what did they do? They're bringing the Abraham Lincoln back, and they put the George Washington there. And apparently that exchange has occurred. And so the USS George Washington aircraft carrier is now operating in the Middle East.
Yeah. And the Abraham Lincoln is on its way home, but it's got a long way to get home to San Diego.
Yeah, that is, they don't move very fast.
No, and it's there's a lot of miles to cover. But you know what? It's got to increase morale just knowing you're heading home, huh?
Yeah. I think that, look, these are real issues. I mean, if you're stuck on a really small island, even though to us it's big, it's got 5,000 people on it. But the point is, you're living at high level of intensity 24/7.
Yeah.
You're living on the edge of being immediately put into action. And that is wearing.
Yeah.
There's no question about it. Anyway, the USS George Washington is now in place. This is interesting. The FBI arrested a woman who allegedly plotted ISIS-linked attacks to the New York State Capitol.
Oh, my goodness. Okay.
And the Assistant United States Attorney, John Sarcone, talks about this.
The charge against Bowie carries a statutory maximum prison term of 20 years, a fine of up to $250,000, and a lifetime term of supervised release. The charge in the complaint is merely an accusation. The defendant is presumed innocent until and unless proven guilty. The allegations in this complaint are deeply disturbing. That someone would harbor such hatred toward our way of life.
Yeah.
All right, so apparently this woman really was tracking the state capitol, was seen a lot there in various places, was, staking it out, and apparently some kind of a ISIS-type attack was being plan.
Wow.
And they got her. So I don't know what this means, where it's going, but isn't that interesting? An ISIS attack on the New York State Capitol, where you've got all these friendly Islamic leadership going on.
Yeah. Yeah, weird.
Okay. Well, this next one, it's a story that I'm glad that it's in the news and it'll go away, because it's sickening. And that's Eric Swalwell.
Yes.
What a guy. He was a former congressman. As you know, he ran for governor. And he had to drop out of the race. Why? The guy basically is a real sleaze.
Yeah.
And he apparently... how can I...
Well, let's say this like this. They accused him of being in bed with a Chinese spy, and it turns out he was, literally.
Okay, and she, Fang Fang.
Fang Fang, yeah.
And she was really connected to all kinds of things. So the other day, yesterday, he's walking through San Francisco. Can you imagine this? You're walking through San Francisco airport, and the feds come out of the woodwork and grab him and take his phone away from him, because he was still operating with a phone that had all this data on it.
Right.
And I think he is more than toast.
Yeah, I think so. And of course, his whole being was about getting Trump. You know, this guy was going to get Trump if it was the end of him. And boy, he imploded. Well,
this is Pride Proceedeth.
Yeah, and very good, yeah.
It really is a very biblical thing. But moreover, this guy completely sold his soul, and he sold out. He's having this fling with this Chinese spy. And guess what? In the meantime, the Democrats in the House that were supporting him, and the other people that were supporting him, knowing what he was doing.
That's a great point, because that happened in the press as well. There have been some people who have reported, we saw this kind of behavior, but and then they were asked, why didn't you report it? Because it didn't fit into their agenda.
Didn't fit into their narrative. Well, he's caught. Well, listen, he's been exposed. He's not arrested. He is exposed. They did seize his electronic equipment, mainly his cell phone. I can't help but think there's some kind of espionage charges coming.
Right, and you're in deep trouble when, like with Fauci and whatever, when they get your phone.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You're in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Okay. This is kind of an interesting story that has now popped up. By the way, did I have something on that? Okay. And that is the EPA has decided for a emergency fuel waiver to increase domestic gas supply. So apparently they're going to make a deal where they can sell off some of the E10, which is the gas blended with 10% ethanol, and fill it up with other things. Now, only government can take simple math and turn it into algebra. I don't understand this. It makes no sense to me. We're going to sell to replenish so that we can drop the prices. Okay. Will you tell me how that works?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Has anybody... Oh, by the way, the average... Listen to this one, though. The average gallon of gas in the United States with the war going on is $4.10.
Okay.
Except for California. You know what it is in California?
Oh, no. What?
$5.60.
$5.60. Okay.
Why are you people in California putting up with this?
Well, because... we're just towing the party line, man. That's what we're told, and that's what we. A
year ago, it was $3.13 a gallon. With the war, it's $4.10, and in California, it's $5.60.
Hey, you got to. Look at the legislature right now is really interested not in such matters as these, but they want to stifle people like Nick Shirley. So they have legislation on the governor's desk right now to stop people like Nick Shirley from exposing fraud. And it's like, okay, well, if that's where your attention is, then the high gas prices and the taxes and fees that you put on the people, they just continue. And people look at this other thing. It's like, don't look over here. Don't look behind the curtain. We're going to get Nick Shirley because he's bad.
Well, one thing that President Trump's done, like him or not, he has uncovered the left's nonsense at a speed and a level. No wonder they're upset. All their games have been exposed. My concern is, all right, our suspicions have been now solidified of what we thought was going on. Now we know it was going on or is going on. What are we doing about it? Okay, in the meantime, they're going to continue to do everything they can to spoil him. And there was another little interesting thought the other day. Who did I have on? Anyway, I interviewed so many people. Here's the deal. When a Republican is in the White House, they usually correct the economic ills of the preceding Democrat.
Yes.
Okay.
The adjustments, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then they're demonized for doing it.
Of course.
Then a D comes in, okay, and gets the benefit of what the R did, because there's always a residual to it.
Right. Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So the residual of the R carries over into the first administration of the D, and they're the heroes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
weird political game we play in this country.
It is. All right. By the way, there's some fresh peaches out there. Do you go to that little peach place over in Talent and get some peaches?
No, but I'd like to.
You could even climb a ladder with that stupid thing and get some fresh peaches.
Yeah, boy, wouldn't that be fun?
Don't get some fresh peaches. Peggy had, she went out there and got some, and oh my stars.
All right.
They're absolutely wonderful.
Are they here?
No, of course not. I'm not sharing those with you guys.
Yeah, okay.
We're taking a peach break. We'll be right back.
When life feels heavy, your body feels it, your mind feels it. That is why I created Organic Elements Wellness Spa, a place where wellness is not a luxury, it's a way of life. Step into our wellness lounge with a Himalayan salt room, infrared sauna, steam room, and invigorating cold plunge. Restore your nervous system, detox your body, and clear your mind. Then experience customized massage, advanced skin therapies, and result-driven facials, all designed to help you look as good as you feel. There's nothing else like this in Southern Oregon. This is your space to heal, to reset, to glow. Call today to book your private wellness party for up to 15 guests or surprise someone special with a gift certificate.
Visit Organic Elements Wellness Spa on East Main Street in Medford. Book online at organicelementspa.com. Wellness is wholeness. Voted best of Southern Oregon. The Dove TV is pleased to announce we're now seen in the San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose area via a new full-power TV station, KEDB, seen on cable, satellite TV, and over-the-air. The Dove TV, encouraging and informative for San Francisco, Oakland, and the San Jose area on new full-power KEDB TV.
Most people have no idea what their money is funding. That's why it's so important to know who you're investing in and what they stand for. At Financial Issues, we help Christians invest with biblical values. Our daily live broadcast covers the economy, markets, and even politics through a financial lens grounded in a biblical worldview. Watch Financial Issues daily at 5 p.m. Pacific Time right here on the Dove.
Welcome back. Happy Friday to you. 27 minutes past the hour. Just a little bit of a quick update. We're coming out of one of the worst fire seasons in the history of the state. 1,600 fires so far this year have burned or are burning 2.4 million acres across Oregon. Watch duty still pops up. 10 acres here, 100 acres there, 50 acres there. It's all over the place. The big fires, they are getting a handle on them, but they are still burning. And the one out, in course, just northeast of Klamath Falls is also still burning out there. Some of the big ones, the grasshopper fire, some of these are still, burning, but they're getting a line around them where they push the fire into itself. But just so you know how bad this season is, 1,600 fires have been reported so far this year. And we have another month to go, really.
Yeah.
Now, I'm hoping that this El Nino thing is real.
So, will you say September 3rd?
That's what I can't verify. I need somebody smarter than I to figure this out. But I kept looking. It kept popping up, and then when I push it, I couldn't get it. So anyway. But it does kind of make sense. But anyway, look, be careful. Things are very, very dry out there. And we got another month to go before we see any substantial. But that's a little bit of what's happening in Oregon and even parts of California. But we're far from being over. All right, let's take a look at the satellite image. Here's what's going on satellite-wise. You can see we do have some movement out there, and there's some moisture in the air, which is a good thing. Here's the problem. Today's heat could produce some afternoon thunderstorms.
Oh, gosh.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Okay, well, we continue to look at this situation as Heritage Foundation Vice President Victoria Cote commented on the increasing economic pressure on the Iranian regime on Fox Business This Morning with Maria.
Now, I think what happened overnight with UAE is really quite significant. As you reported, the Iranians, very stupidly, in my opinion, lobbed 2 ballistic missiles at UAE, and UAE responded by cutting off Iran from any kind of economic commerce with the Emirates. And this is really significant because UAE accounts for about 30% of Iran's imports. And Iran's economy at this point, because of the maximum pressure campaign of President Trump's first term, their economy is really distorted. They can't produce what they need domestically, and so they're very heavily reliant on imports. So this action by UAE, combined by the effects of the blockade keeping other imports out of Iran, is really going to have a devastating effect. So what they're facing now is unprecedented, and a lot of their bills come due this fall. They pay their soldiers quarterly, if they pay them at all. And so as we get into the September-October timeframe, they may have bills they can't pay, and that is going to cause internal pressures like we haven't seen before. So I do agree with the administration. I don't see a need to escalate militarily right now. I'd escalate economically.
And one of their other big trading partners, they talk there about UAE, is China. Yeah. And with the blockade comes this little headline that I'm looking at right now. Yeah. It says, buyers face virtually no new supplies of Iranian oil amid U.S. blockade. And they talk about, of course, this really affects China. And they said China imported in July over 800,000 barrels of oil. In August, they only have around 500,000 and change available to them, and it's going down. That's a significant drop. And of course, along with that, it affects China, but it also affects the bottom line and the income in Iran. So this blockade is quite a tool and quite a weapon, and it looks like it's going to be perhaps quite effective.
Yeah, when the dust settles on some of the stuff, you look back at it and say, all right, what do we have that no other country has? Well, we have economic power, unlike anybody else. I mean, we're involved in everybody's economy to some degree or another. Yeah. Okay. And secondly, if we do take over the Straits and we call it a territory, the territory of...
No, don't do it.
Melania. We'll call it.
We'll do that.
We'll call it the Big M.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, whatever we call it, you basically have controlled the world, and I say that, in a respectful way. But you got the 2 big things going for you.
Yeah.
Okay. But look, the world enemy today, and I think if people sit back and if you could de-Trump everything, you can't. But if you could just kind of get away from it for a little bit, the biggest enemy in the world is Iran. It has to be neutralized. It just has to be neutralized. Yeah. You give them a nuke and people die. A lot of them with a very bad death.
Yeah.
And so
it's interesting. We talk about the rhetoric and all these messages that come out of Washington. We look at the last administration, and one of their problems was Joe Biden didn't want to talk. They shielded him from the press.
Oh, he was so smart he couldn't talk.
He couldn't talk, right? So that was a big problem. Well, one of the problems with this administration is we have a president who really wants to talk.
Yeah, I would say that's a downfall of his. He talks too much. Yeah. But now there's a little report out that Jill is not commenting on the fact that they may have medicated President Joe Biden too much.
Oh.
And she's not talking about it.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, which is recognition of his decline. And this whole thing is sad. It's really, really sad. I mean, it's political, but it's sad. You don't want to see anybody go through what he went through.
Yeah, and it's been commented that that through all of this, we not only had a diminished president, but turns out that his most trusted right hand and probably one of his closest counselors during all of this was Hunter Biden. Can you imagine Hunter Biden?
Well, you got to be careful there, because who's the president's #1 counselor these days? Kirshner.
Yeah, but this guy's capable.
Yeah,
he's
well,
not some drug addict.
True.
He's not some drug addict laying in a hotel pointing a gun at his phone. And it's like, are you kidding me? Sorry. Did I say that?
No. You did. You're fine. I was trying to think though that if you had to run. Run? If you had to run, I'd probably have to run for you. We'll be right back.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
Visit fishlikeresorts.net today to learn more and plan your visit.
Orthodox Christianity has existed for 2,000 years. Yet many people know very little about its history, its worship, or the ancient Christian faith it preserves. Hi, I'm Paulina Leiser. Join me each week as we explore the beauty and depth of this historic Christian tradition and its place in the modern world.
Don't miss The Ancient Church, conversations about Orthodox Christianity, Sundays at 6 p.m. on the Dove TV.
Take the Dove TV wherever you go worldwide. We're seen live 24/7 and streaming on demand on all major platforms, including Roku, Apple, Google, and Fire TV. Plus, you can catch the Dove TV and radio online at the new thedove.us and the Dove's new mobile app. Download today. Bring powerful, God-centered content and news with you wherever you go. From the Dove, encouraging and informative.
Welcome back, 24 minutes before the hour on a beautiful Friday morning. A little bit cooler today, a little bit cooler tomorrow, so we welcome that, and hopefully the changes are coming. In the meantime, there is a lot going on in the Middle East, the twists and turns of the Middle East. That sounds like a soap opera, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, and so anyway, let's check in with Joshua Swanson there with CBN News this morning.
Been nice. President Trump says negotiations with Iran are off the table as his administration launches what he calls the most crushing economic operation ever imposed on a country. On Truth Social, the president said no one has given the Islamic Republic of Iran a greater opportunity to make a deal, and that Tehran failed to take it. Now, Trump is calling for economic warfare and isolation on an unprecedented scale, warning that any country doing business with Iran will face tremendous economic consequences. The president also says Iran will never be allowed to possess a nuclear weapon.
Look, it's very simple. They have to get rid of no nuclear weapon. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. You know why? Because they'd use it.
Trump reportedly ordered American negotiators to halt talks with Tehran indefinitely, despite members of his negotiating team recently describing discussions with Iran as positive and robust. Meanwhile, the president says the United States has control of the Strait of Hormuz, and significant amounts of oil are again moving out of the Gulf.
The Strait, last night we had a lot of boats come through. We have possession, complete control of the Strait. It's not going to be perfect, but it's a lot of oil coming in.
Axios reports the U.S. military has established a shipping corridor through the Strait of Hormuz, moving about 10 million barrels of oil each day, with 15 to 20 tankers reportedly passing through nightly along the coast of Oman. In Israel, attention is turning north. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says Israel struck Syria's Abu Duhur military air base after warnings against a Turkish military buildup there went unheeded.
We will not tolerate a Turkish military entrenchment that advances southward because it threatens us.
Netanyahu says Turkey intends to gain a foothold in Syria near Israel's border. When warnings to Syria and Turkey went unheeded, he authorized a military strike and delivered another, much simpler warning.
Don't.
IDF Chief of Staff Lieutenant General Ayal Zamir reinforced Israel's red line while touring the Syrian front, saying Israel would not allow hostile forces to establish themselves on our borders. We see what is happening and we are monitoring the changes on the Syrian front, he added, saying Israel must prevent any significant military threat from forming along its borders.
Okay, Joshua joins me now from Jerusalem. So, Joshua, the president is talking about these crushing economic warfare that he's going to launch toward Iran. Talk about what kind of consequences could we potentially see for those countries that do business with the Islamic regime.
Yeah, well, George, the message from President Trump is essentially this. Countries have to choose between business with Iran and doing business with the United States. He said this on Truth Social. Any country that allows its financial institutions, businesses, airports, or government entities to provide any type of lifeline to Iran will itself face tremendous economic consequences. That's a big threat. And one potential step is targeting banks that help Iran move money around existing sanctions. That could especially affect countries like the UAE and Turkey. And possibly, in anticipation of the U.S. sanctions, the UAE has already suspended trade with Iran just this week, a move analysts say could be extremely painful for the Iranian economy. Now, Bloomberg identifies several other measures the U.S. could use as part of this campaign. Sanctions, of course, targeting intermediaries involved in the Chinese purchase of Iranian oil. Remember, 80% of Iranian oil is purchased by China. And the administration could also go after Iran's so-called shadow fleet. So the goal appears to be completely isolating Iran and even more pressure on their economy, George.
So the president in your package mentioned that oil is now flowing through the Strait of Hormuz, the U.S. Navy making that all possible. So tell us, how does that actually work? And obviously, how significant is it for the oil to keep flowing from the Strait of Hormuz to the rest of the global economy?
Yeah, this story's wild. Axios has reported that under the cover of darkness, the U.S. Navy is moving Allies oil and their tankers through the strait. I mean, I can already see the trailer from Hollywood, right, starring Denzel. Each night, about 15 to 20 tankers are moving through a southern channel. This is along the coast of Oman. Empty tankers go in, brought into the Gulf, they load up with oil, and then, of course, they head out to the Arabian Sea. The U.S. military is coordinating this entire thing. While American fighter jets are overhead, they're providing protection against Iranian drones and cruise missiles. And the numbers really are significant. U.S. officials say it's 10 million barrels of oil a day are now getting through, which is about half the volume before the war. So on some nights it's even more. So yeah, the strait is certainly not back to normal, but this operation is putting millions of barrels back on the global market.
Wow. There you go. All right, let's check out the weather on this Friday.
Here's the look at today's weather from Grange Co-op. Across northern Oregon and southern Washington, cloudy skies for Vancouver and a high of 83. Portland reaches 84, Wilsonville tops out at 86, and McMinnville sees increasing clouds with a high of 84. Through the Willamette Valley, cloudy conditions continue with highs from 82 to 84 degrees. Salem reaches 84, Albany 83, Corvallis 82, and Eugene 83. Central Oregon turns hot with areas of smoke in Prineville and a high of 95. Bend reaches 91 with patchy smoke. Sun River hits 90 with patchy smoke, then cloudy skies. Boise stays hot with a high of 102. Along the Oregon coast, decreasing clouds bring a high of 67 in Coos Bay. Port Orford is partly sunny at 62. Brookings sees decreasing clouds with a high of 53. And Crescent City starts with patchy fog before mostly cloudy skies and 60. Across southern Oregon, gradual clearing develops in Grants Pass with a high of 92. Medford sees decreasing clouds in 94. Ashland stays cloudy with a high of 91. And Klamath Falls reaches 89 under mostly cloudy skies and a red flag warning. In Northern California, Wairika stays cloudy with a high of 93, Redding sees decreasing clouds in 95, Chico's mostly sunny at 94, and Fort Bragg sees decreasing clouds with a high of 59. Around the Bay Area, patchy fog gives way to partly sunny skies in Santa Rosa with a high of 80, Napa's partly sunny at 79, San Francisco's partly sunny with a high of 68, and San Francisco reaches 80 with decreasing clouds. For Central California, mostly sunny skies bring Sacramento to 91, while Stockton, Modesto are partly sunny at 90, Fresno, Visalia reached 99, and Bakersfield climbs to 101 under hot conditions. And that's a look at your Friday weather from Grange Co-op.
Oh, yeah. We love the banjo.
Oh, yeah, the banjo band.
Absolutely. Well, World War II was raging, and on this day in history, a movie that has touched hearts around the world was released. On August 21st, 1942, in the middle of World War II, Walt Disney released Bambi, a film that would eventually become one of the most beloved animated movies ever made. But getting Bambi onto the screen was anything but easy. Disney's artists spent years studying real deer and other forest animals, even keeping live animals at the studio so animators could study their movements and behavior. And the artwork was revolutionary. Artist Tyrus Wong created impressionistic forest paintings that inspired the film's beautiful, almost dreamlike backgrounds. Disney even experimented with oil paint techniques to give the forest greater depth and richness. Ironically, audiences weren't immediately impressed. Because of the war, Bambi failed to recover its production costs on its original release. It finally began turning a profit when it was re-released in 1947. And today, Bambi is considered a masterpiece and proof that sometimes the classics just need a second chance.
Yeah.
Didn't make any money the first time, but it was interesting too, this Tyrus Wong, they had a real problem because they spent hundreds and hundreds of man-hours illustrating and drawing the forest, and they looked at it and the forest was so detailed you couldn't really see the separation to the animals. Tyrus Wong came in and did this dreamlike, less detailed background, and they say, especially cartoonists, illustrators, this is the classic for them. This is what they really look at as the standard for what they compare their work to. But yeah, Bambi, it was beautiful and it worked to make money. How about that?
Good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, 14 minutes before the hour. You know, do children need to lament like adults do?
Do children need to lament like... no. Wait a minute. No, they don't need to be pulled into our world, do they?
I'm asking.
We want to shield our children from that, I think.
Well, let's check in with Allison for Crossway. She may have another point of view on this.
Okay.
Okay.
When I think of lament, it's helpful to describe that as going to God because of who he is and his character, and crying out to him about what it feels like to live in a broken world. All throughout Scripture, we see examples of what this can look like. And it is a grace to us in our suffering. Because when life really hurts, when things are wrong, we are not left on our own to try to figure out the right way to respond. We can ask all of our questions, acknowledge all of that pain, and bring that to the Lord, because he is big enough for them, and he invites us to speak honestly about the pain of living in a broken world. It means that we're not alone to navigate that. He is with us. And it means that we also don't need to find the answers to, or make it make sense before we can receive comfort, because the comfort is that we're crying out to a God who is with us and never forsakes us. It's one thing as an adult to understand lament and to incorporate that into our life. It's another thing to help our children lament. I think as parents, sometimes we can be tempted to do one or two things. One would be to undermine a child's hurt as maybe not as big of a hurt, right? As adults, we know how awful things can be. The second thing that parents can be tempted to do is to try to fix their kids' pain, to take it away. But the reality is that our kids know that our world is broken. They know that something is wrong. They know that this is not the way that it's supposed to be. And as parents, we know that we can't protect them from all the pain in the world. And so where does that leave us? It means that we can walk alongside our children as they grieve, as they experience pain in this world, and we can model lament, and we can instruct them lament and give them a language and a hope and a comfort when they face pain. When our kids are hurting, when something happens, we can go to our child and say, that really hurts. We can tell God how much it hurts because He made us and He saved us. We hope in what is true. He promises that one day, what's broken, He'll make new. And we can encourage our children that God is with you and He always hears your cry. That comfort that we offer our children is the same comfort that we experience as we face difficult things.
That's a great point. They are going to experience it. We might as well show them where to take it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. Looking for peaches here.
Jesus, Jesus, I trust Him.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
There may have never been another time in history when end times prophecy has been more aligned with the culture and circumstances of the world than it is today. I believe there are 10 phenomena we are witnessing today that were recorded centuries ago in Bible prophecy.
Join Dr. David Jeremiah in his series, Where Do We Go From Here? On the next episode of Turning Point, right here on this station.
Weekends on theDove TV. Pastor Jack Hibbs, championing religious liberty, a deep love of God, freedom, and America.
That liberty is God-given, not government-granted.
You may have seen him in the news during COVID as he pushed back against government-mandated church closures. Now you can see him on theDove TV every weekend on Real Life with Jack Hibbs.
You and I cannot afford to be casual about what God has actually said in His Word regarding the future.
Learn, grow in your faith, and impact the world with authentic biblical teaching.
The Bible warns us to avoid private interpretations.
Jack challenges today's generation to understand and practice a biblical worldview, verse by verse, addressing key cultural and daily life issues. Deepen your walk with Christ to make an effective impact on your world. Don't miss Real Life with Jack Hibbs, Sundays at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. on theDove TV.
Hey, welcome back. How y'all doing out there? Happy Friday. This is where it all happens, and tell your boss that the Dove gave you a pass to leave at 10:30.
And good luck with that. Yeah.
Come on by. I'll sign it for you.
That reminds me of hall pass days in high school.
Yeah.
Somebody would get a hall pass thing that they lifted.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, people were getting let out of class by their friends.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
We're not selling visas here. We're just and green cards or anything like that. We're just going to give you a pass so you can go home early today. How's that? All right. Anyway, one of the big numbers yesterday was the United States debt. This is serious as a heart attack. Past $40 trillion. This is, it's so big that we can't comprehend it or understand it.
Right.
And we just think, well, it's a bad number. We should all be upset. Well, I talked to Mark Manila. He heads up financial issues, and here's what he had to say.
This is one of the saddest things for me. I ever since probably
every third thing I write about or any show I'm on, I end up talking about debt being the #1 risk for ruining America, destroying America. And we just went over 40 trillion. Now, do I believe the administration is doing good things? Sure. Look what they just did with buying back, doubling the buyback of the longer term treasuries to force the interest rates down a bit. Hopefully that'll bring inflation down a little bit, and then maybe we could see the Fed lower the interest rate there. All that helps to reduce the amount of money we have to pay on interest. That helps us to get closer to starting to reduce debt. We also see that the administration has worked very hard to bring productivity back to the U.S. in factories and things like that. So that helps to actually begin. Productivity generates more economic strength, more revenues. More revenues could be used to help reduce the debt. We see all this happening, but I'm so sad because when we start talking about this debt is because we still don't have a Congress that knows how to balance a budget. I'm sorry, that's wrong. We still don't have a Congress that knows how to put a budget together, and that's their job. I think that this midterm election may be the crucial point. We need to all get out and vote in those people who are fiscally responsible. Most of them would be Christians because Christians believe the warnings God gave about debt, and we need to get them in, and we need to turn this around. Perry, if we don't, in the next couple of years, we could see the dollar lose its place in the world as the currency for exchange and trade around the world. If that happens, we'll see interest rates rise here as we see money printed by the Federal Reserve because people stop buying our debt. When printing money means they buy our debt with no money, they just issue the debt. So we're going to see, we could see ourselves going into a recession or depression that could take tens of years to recover if we don't get this under control.
What a concept. Voting people into office who are fiscally responsible. Oh, my goodness.
Well, if the D's take over.
Socialists, yeah. Kiss it goodbye.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, you know, I think we've all lived through the irritation of a loud neighbor.
Or co-host.
Oh, boy. But here's an encounter that had a happy ending.
When Heidi Widmer moved into a new apartment in Los Angeles, she was frustrated and couldn't figure out what was causing all the banging and thumping from upstairs. She joked on social media that it sounded like someone was bowling. Then, a few weeks later, she met her upstairs neighbor, 85-year-old Carol. Carol had Parkinson's disease, and when she accidentally dropped her recycling, Heidi saw just how difficult everyday life had become. Carol was living alone with no family nearby. So Heidi started helping, taking out her trash, cooking meals, cleaning, and simply spending time with her. And somewhere along the way, the noisy neighbor upstairs became family. When their story went viral, thousands of strangers offered to help Carol, even raising more than $60,000 for her needs. But the greatest gift wasn't the money, it was companionship. Carol now calls Heidi her granddaughter. And Heidi says Carol has given her something too. She's given me purpose, she says. Sometimes all it takes to change someone's life is simply knocking on the door.
Bingo. What a great story. All right. Take Nahum chapter 1, verse 7. The Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble. He knows those who take refuge in him. Here's a promise for you today. Check on your neighbor. They may need you.
If you don't drive it, donate it. By supporting us, you'll get even more mileage out of it.
Thank you from the Dove TV.
The Life Essentials Interactive Study Bible by Dr. Gene Getz. The first ever multimedia study Bible with QR codes enabling you to view 1,500 videos. Watch on your smartphone, tablet, or computer with Gene Getz teaching Principles to Live By from every book of Scripture. 250 hours of in-depth teaching. Gene Getz has over 60 years of Bible teaching and is a renowned theologian. The Life Essentials Bible is a seminary in a box. Read, watch, apply. Get yours today for your own spiritual growth or as a gift that will minister greatly to your family and friends. Purchase your copy of the Life Essentials Study Bible at Christian bookstores or go to their website, BiblePrinciples.org, and click on Video Search, where you can access all the principles for free. Take your faith deeper. Get your Life Essentials Study Bible today at Christian bookstores or BiblePrinciples.org.
Welcome home to the Dove TV, encouraging and informative. More at theDove.us.
Good morning. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Well, good morning to you. Happy Friday. We made it.
Yes.
Took 4 days to get here. Welcome to the Jerry Building and Recovery Center.
Oh, yeah, good luck with that.
Okay,
Yeah.
Good morning to you. Happy Friday. A lot going on in the news. A little cooler, which is kind of nice. We're backing down a few degrees today, a few more tomorrow. Are we getting in position for an El Nino?
You know, we hear the rumblings and the promises, and I think that, you know, we have to be careful with our hopes on this one as well, but because with it could come some serious situations.
Yeah, we'll talk about that, but apparently there is a change coming. We'll see if that all occurs. In the meantime, happy Friday. Ton of the news, there always is. What do you got today?
Well, first of all, it is National Senior Citizens Day, recognizing the achievements of the more mature representatives of our nation. The day provides an opportunity to show our appreciation for their dedication, accomplishments, and services that they have given throughout their lives. And the big question is, what is a senior citizen?
Well, let's see. Is it an age thing now?
Oh, it may be, and it is that age thing changing.
Well, I know they wanted to bump retirement to 70.
True, and that
But the problem was there were some industries that didn't want that. Airline industry being one of them.
Oh, yeah, right. Well, remember they forcibly retired Walter Cronkite at the age of 65.
Okay,
Walter Cronkite. So, but you know, and we talk about the advantages and disadvantages of waiting to claim your retirement or your Social Security at age 70. Some people have the opinion that, hey, wait a minute, it's going to become insolvent. I want to get it while it's there, so I'm going to take it as early as I can. And then on the other side of the coin, people say, yeah, but you got to think of it as an investment value. If you don't need it until you're 70, if you are still, you know, making it without, you have a, you know, it increases its value to you by about 34% between the age 62 and the age 70. So you have to figure all this stuff out.
I got into a lot of trouble with that one, and I was right at the end, but they shoved that down my throat because when I was running for Congress, because I thought, yeah, you should have the ability to invest if you wanted to. According to the math you just shared with us, look where you would have been today.
Right.
But now you got Social Security that's borderline insolvent.
Well, and that's the problem. The government has taken this thing and they have gotten away with an illegal Ponzi scheme. Nobody else can Ponzi scheme, but they have gotten away with the biggest Ponzi scheme in the history of mankind, and they continue to do it, and they have robbed from it. And the only reason that it's going to become insolvent in the year 2034, as which has been predicted, and now they're even starting to move that up to 2033, and that's because in this Ponzi scheme, those who are collecting only get the money because others are paying in.
Yeah.
Well, when the numbers dwindle for those paying in and now there's more taking out, that Ponzi scheme collapses, as all Ponzi schemes do.
Well, remember this, the largest generation is now taking it, baby boomers.
Baby boomers, that's right.
Yeah, well, you're not a senior citizen until you sit in your rocker and you can't get it started.
Hey, wait a minute. They have rockers now that'll stand you up.
Okay. You're not a senior citizen until all the names in your little black book are doctors.
Oh, I like these. They're qualifiers.
You're not a senior citizen until your pacemaker makes the garage door go up. And finally, you're not a senior citizen until you sink your teeth into a juicy steak and they stay there.
Moving on, it is National Fantasy Football Draft Day.
Oh, gosh.
Get your calendars, spreadsheets, and pray your sleeper pick doesn't get snatched one spot ahead of you. And this has turned into a big thing. Millions of people playing fantasy football these days, and a lot of it is going on at work.
Yeah, I know. You know, the only way they can justify it here is they try to draft me.
Yeah. What position do you play?
No,
yeah, you're quarterback.
No,
yeah, baby.
I play owner.
Yeah.
And you're fired.
And you're fired. Okay, careful back there, you guys. Next is only one thing that we're eating, and it's National Spumoni Day.
Oh.
Celebrating a delicious frozen treat which hails from southern Italy, and we were blessed with this last year.
Yes.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Who gave us that?
Well, I should know this and apologize if you guys are watching this morning, but there's a bakery in Grants Pass that specializes in this. And I forget their name. I should know that, and I don't. Anyway, but he brought over a loaf of it. Remember during the Salvation Army little thing they had going? And so he brought over this loaf of this. Man, it was absolutely fantastic.
And traditionally, 3 molded layers of flavored gelato create a unique dessert. The creamy creation often includes candied fruits and nuts in 2 layers with a 3rd chocolate layer. Oh, it all sounds good, and especially in a warm summer day, that fits pretty good. So you can grab your senior citizen, draft your fantasy football team.
Okay.
Have some spumoni.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, let's sit in the rocker and see what's going on with the weather.
Here's the look at today's weather from Grange Co-op. Across northern Oregon and southern Washington, cloudy skies for Vancouver and a high of 83. Portland reaches 84, Wilsonville tops out at 86, and McMinnville sees increasing clouds with a high of 84. Through the Willamette Valley, cloudy conditions continue with highs from 82 to 84 degrees. Salem reaches 84, Albany 83, Corvallis 82, and Eugene 83. Central Oregon turns hot with areas of smoke in Prineville and a high of 95. Bend reaches 91 with patchy smoke. Sun River hits 90 with patchy smoke, then cloudy skies. Boise stays hot with a high of 102. Along the Oregon coast, decreasing clouds bring a high of 67 in Coos Bay. Port Orford is partly sunny at 62. Brookings sees decreasing clouds with a high of 53. And Crescent City starts with patchy fog before mostly cloudy skies and 60. Across southern Oregon, gradual clearing develops in Grants Pass with a high of 92. Medford sees decreasing clouds in 94. Ashland stays cloudy with a high of 91. And Klamath Falls reaches 89 under mostly cloudy skies and a red flag warning. In Northern California, Wairika stays cloudy with a high of 93. Redding sees decreasing clouds in 95. Chico's mostly sunny at 94. And Fort Bragg sees decreasing clouds with a high of 59. Around the Bay Area, patchy fog gives way to partly sunny skies in Santa Rosa with a high of 80. Napa's partly sunny at 79. San Francisco's partly sunny with a high of 68. And San Francisco reaches 80 with decreasing clouds. For Central California, mostly sunny skies bring Sacramento to 91, while Stockton Modesto are partly sunny at 90. Fresno Visalia reached 99, and Bakersfield climbs to 101 under hot conditions. And that's a look at your Friday weather from Grange Co-op.
There's a beautiful picture this morning from Antelope Mountain there in Wairika, and it's looking out towards Mount Shasta. So with the clouds and the sunshine, boy, beautiful. A little bit of smoke down there, but not much.
Gorgeous, yes.
Just gorgeous, yeah.
Oh.
Nice shot.
Yeah, and we're not even looking at traffic today. We're just looking at the serenity of Mount Shasta.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. Okay, well, you know, there are people who aren't sure where they stand with the Lord, but here's some great encouragement with the Reverend Billy Graham.
I received a letter recently in September last year. Other than my 4 years in the Marine Corps, I've spent my entire life in this city, and it's one of the largest cities in America. After 23 years on the police force, I was appointed police chief of this city. I attended church regularly, but church attendance was more or less a ritual. I always knew in my mind that there was something missing. When you came to Cincinnati, I went to the crusade meeting. You asked if we knew where we would be if we died that night. I didn't know. My wife and I went forward at the same time when you gave the invitation. It was such a simple, uncomplicated thing that I had the feeling that I was missing something. I guess the problem was that in police work, it becomes ingrained in you that there's never anything for nothing. It's difficult for a police officer to grasp what you can't buy or earn salvation. It is given to you by the grace of God, and it's a gift, an absolute gift. After I received Christ, I discovered other police officers who are Christians. We have a monthly prayer breakfast now. I have the assurance that if I drop dead, I know where I'm going, and that's a real assurance. The load of that uncertainty has been removed. I now have God. You can be the same tonight. You can know God. You can have Him in your heart. And there are thousands of you here tonight that do go to church like he did, but you're not sure how you stand before God. You're not sure where your soul is right now.
Great message.
Well, listen, gosh, you kept it so simple.
As he usually does. Yeah.
Okay, take that with you today. All right, good morning to you. 10 and a half past the hour. Let's take a look at some of the top stories. And, of course, Iran's certainly in the headlines. We're moving from, military back to what they're calling unprecedented economic isolation on Iran. And apparently, from what we're seeing and hearing from various people, this is working, and it'll even work more as they get towards the end of September, where it looks like Iran won't be able to make payroll.
Yeah.
And so we'll talk about that. But in the meantime, the president has complete control, according to him, of the Straits of Hormuz, where Iran says, no, we have complete control. Well, the bottom line is that the United States is controlling ships that are coming in and out, and Iran has nothing to do with it. As these ships are being escorted, they're also being escorted by aircraft to shoot down any kind of drones or anything that'd be coming at them. Yeah. So it's quite a deal. We'll see how this goes. But most people are saying now that the right thing to do is economic pressure and what they're calling unprecedented economic isolation. If you remember, Secretary Bassett said that the other day.
Right, and he is key and in the middle of all of this.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, the other story is, the USS Abraham Lincoln is coming home after a lengthy 250-day deployment, one of the longest ever, and they're saying the stress on the crew, poor mental health. Now, of course, the military denied all this, and I understand the tug-of-war back and forth here, but the bottom line is, for 250 days, the officers and this crew on this ship, high alert 24/7. That is stress beyond stress. And how would you like to be at any moment called to get into your jet and go out there and risk your life?
Sure.
And those are the kind of tensions. Anyway, that aircraft carrier is coming home, and now the USS George Washington aircraft carrier is now operating in the Middle East. It's there to replace the Lincoln.
Yep, they're on their way home. It is a long sail to get back home to San Diego, but you got to, think that their mental attitude, the whole approach, being on the way home is going to change everything.
Yeah, I think just going home boosts everything. Yep. All right, in the meantime, this is kind of interesting. A woman was plotting to blow up the New York State Capitol. She was apparently constantly researching the premises inside and out, and they caught her. And here is Assistant U.S. Attorney John Sarcone talking about this lady.
As alleged in the complaint, Ms. Bowie swore her allegiance to ISIS through multiple audio recordings in both English and Arabic. She clearly stated her desire to carry out an attack at the New York State Capitol. In her own words, as alleged in the criminal complaint, she said, quote, "I want to destroy as much of the building as possible and kill the senators while they are meeting. I want them to lose a lot of important documents as well."
Wow.
Okay, now you got this in New York, which supposedly is ultra-Islamic friendly.
Yeah. Isn't this interesting? And how many lone wolves? We talk about the lone wolf factor. This is obviously one. We usually think of it, as guys. But obviously she had some pretty heavy intentions.
Yeah, the radicalization is...
yeah, and what's her background? Where's she from?
I don't know.
I don't either. Yeah.
But the only thing I can say is that remind me of the scripture of John 10:10. Jesus said, "I come that you might have life and have it more abundantly." The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So you're dealing with evil here.
Absolutely.
It's just raw evil. Yeah. So. All right. In the meantime, Eric Swalwell, what a guy. He was a congressman, and his sole purpose was to take President Trump out. He sat on a lot of committees. He was very influential. And then he decides that he was going to run for governor of the state of California. He thought of himself being so popular.
Yeah.
And that all fell apart. Why? Because he literally got caught doing everything that he shouldn't be doing.
Absolutely. And you know what? It turns out with a Chinese spy to boot.
Fang Fang.
Fang Fang, yes.
And she was very well known in Capitol Hill as being a Chinese spy. Working the Congress aisles.
Absolutely. It's interesting. And the FBI had the goods on him. And, of course, he was just bent on going after Trump. It was just one thing after another. But boy, it caught up with him, didn't it?
It did. And they now have connected the dots of him and this spy. And the question is, what intelligence was shared? We don't know yet.
Great point, yeah.
But he was walking through the San Francisco airport yesterday, and here comes the feds, and they grab him and take his cell phone away, and you can only imagine what's on that. Now, the feds, any investigating company will know how to go into the chip of your phone and unload stuff.
Well, you got trouble when the feds grab your cell phone. Let's look at Anthony Fauci.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, is one of his right-hand henchmen is pleading guilty. And hiding information that had a lot to do with where the virus came from. Was this from a wet market, or did it actually come out of a lab leak?
Yeah.
And it turns out that that's where it was.
Well, with Eric Swalwell, he's in deep trouble. He hasn't been arrested yet, but I think they're building the case. They captured and confiscated all of his electronic devices, and I think just wait and see. There's more to the story. But at the end of the day, with all due respect, he seemed to be pretty much of a sleazeball.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
It's just horrible. It's just horrible.
Yeah.
Now, this story is kind of interesting. The EPA is to enact an emergency fuel waiver to increase domestic gas supply and lowering the prices by apparently selling the current supply will allow the sale of E10, which is gas blended with 10% ethanol, at a higher rate. In other words, let's get rid of this and put some other stuff in there. Okay, so we have this reserve. So are they filling the reserve up with stuff that they can sell cheaper down the road, especially as we get towards October and November?
So will you put it in your mower?
I want to put
Huh?
That's a good question.
Yeah, because we talk about clear gas and, ethanol gas and...
All right. So as of yesterday, the current national fuel prices averaged $4.10.
Okay.
A year ago to the same day, it was $3.13.
Wow.
Except for California. The current gas prices in California for regular gas is $5.60. How in the world can you afford to live there? And most of that's state taxes.
Oh, absolutely. Taxes and fees. Yep.
And so do we have it here, and we almost got another big chunk of it until we stopped it.
We just barely ducked that one. Yet those people who even put their names on the petitions to stop all of that, those with the D behind them, are still ready to vote her back in.
Yeah, they are. We're talking about our own governor.
Yeah.
But the question is, I really think after Labor Day, I just want to warn our audience, probably not so much here on the Dove, but you will see it in other media. You're going to be inundated with political ads. And most of it is how bad the other person is.
Right. Well, you know what? I got to say this. I've been seeing an increase in Christine ads right now.
Yeah.
And in fact, I have MLB TV, so I get to watch my beloved Yankees, and which is, and obviously I think they know where you live because during the commercials, I'm getting on MLB.TV, I'm getting Christine ads coming through.
Well,
and they are quite nice. She is pointing out the differences, but she speaks in such a sweet tone.
Well, she's a refreshing alternative.
Yeah.
Okay, but look, the only thing I can say, I hope we're not so stupid that 4 months ago we were being shoved down our throat a $4.3 billion tax bill, which was a down. It was less than what they originally proposed at $15 billion, all to fix a $350 million problem. That's math.
Yeah.
That's new math.
Yeah.
Anyway, so much for all that. The gas price. I don't understand this deal. This is taking math, general math, and turning it into algebra. I don't know how this works. So I'm sure somebody will educate me on that because the morning's not over yet. And my emails are already...
And you're open for business. Yeah, there we go. You had to put it on silent, huh?
All right, those are the top stories. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
My humble cry, while on others thou art calling, do not pass me by.
Having Kelly's be an automotive shop that takes care of people first is everything that you could hope it could be. Customer service and caring about others first is extremely important, and why we come here and why we keep coming here, and now why our children come here. The first experience they had with Kelly's, got in right away, took care of them, was honest with them, and they were like, I'm going nowhere else but Kelly's from here on out. And so just in one experience, you have 18-year-old kids being like, that's where I'm taking my car.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare. Your loved one can spend the day with us, and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living, your home.
I'm gonna let it shine, gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, gonna let it shine. Oh, shine.
How y'all doing out there? I learned that from Jerry because he lives in the Upper Rogue. That's how they talk up there.
That's right. We're our Romeos and how y'all.
That's so you got all that stuff going on up there. All right, a little bit of backyard news, just to kind of give you an idea. As we continue to mop up from one of the worst fire seasons in the history of the state, it's just unbelievable. 2.4 million acres have burned or continue to burn. And the latest statistic came out that they're starting to lower a lot of these evacuation levels because they are getting control of a lot of these big fires, especially out in central Oregon, northeastern Oregon. Some in our own backyard, they're getting them under control. We had 6 so far, we got a month to go. We've had 1,600 wildfires that have burned 2.4 million acres in land. Pretty amazing. I will say this, a lot of spark coming out of Washington, D.C. of what can be done. Are we on them fast enough? Is there enough money? Do we have enough resources? What's the tug of war between the state and the federal working together? I think this fire season exposed a lot of issues. The question is, will we learn from them?
Yeah. Yeah. You know, one of the things I heard about was kind of the give and take between local and feds on this, and I'm not sure how that plays out and how that story will. You mentioned some of these fires have been burning for quite some time, and it seems as though they've made quite a distinction between those fires where dwellings are in jeopardy and those that are just burning out in the wild.
Yes, one of the things that did come out of this, because I had Congressman Cliff Bentz on, we're going to air that Monday. We talked a lot about this, but a lot of the local fire departments would volunteer a unit to go to these fire centers for structure protection. Okay. So you think about a local fire department, most of that is for, structures.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they would send one of their fire units to one of these fire camps and be on standby to immediately go in and protect the structure. Okay. So as bad as this season was, and I would say the worst ones was up in Spokane where they had the arson up there, and that guy and his nonsense burned a lot of homes up there.
Yes, exactly.
The ones in Oregon, there were a few, but not as many as you thought we would have experienced. But I will say this, they are working hard to do structure protection. But overall, there were some problems back and forth, and I don't we got to get this thing ironed out a little bit better. The good news is they seem to get on them faster. The bad news is after they got on them, then it was kind of like a management thing, who's doing what.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So anyway, that's behind us now. Let's take a look at Wall Street for a Friday morning. Thank you, Preston, at Smart Lawn. We'll see how this is going this morning. The Dow went the other way today. It's up 315 points. Wow. The Nas is up 33, almost 34 points, and the S&P almost 25 points. So ending the week on the positive side, I think the fact that we're not dropping any bombs in Iran probably makes things a little happy over there.
That's a good thing.
There you go. In the meantime, let's take a look at gold. It's continuing to bump back up a little bit, 46.46. Silver's just under $70, so it's on the way up, and so is crude oil. Up another 50 cents, $93.77.
My reserve tank light is on right now, sitting out in the parking lot.
Okay, buy a gallon. 1 gallon. That'll get you home and back on Monday.
See how much money I brought. So anyway, well, here's
one
something.
Gallon.
Buy 1 gallon. I might make it home.
Yeah.
Something you have talked about, and we have really seen a difference, and that is morale and recruitment numbers in the armed services between the past administration and currently, and especially under Secretary Hegseth. And with that in mind, Secretary of the Navy Hung Kao spoke with Newsmax's Carl Higbee about morale in the armed services and responded to these side-by-side recruiting ads. And we're going to look at the one from the Trump administration and then one from the Biden administration.
Their service has taught us not to seek war, but to prepare, to fight, and win. Peace through strength.
Begins in California with a little girl raised by 2 moms. Although I had a fairly typical childhood, took ballet, played violin, I also marched for equality. I like to think I've been defending freedom from an early age.
The retention's been out the door, and also recruitment. Last year, we brought in over 8,000 new recruits above what we normally did. And this year, we're on track to bring in 11,000 more recruits in the Navy. Wow. So, yes, people just want, remember the hit on me they did that about alpha males and alpha females. Apparently, it's true. That's the kind of people we want, and those are the people we're attracting right now. I've been deployed just like you have. No one said anything when I was in a FOB that was surrounded by HESCO barriers, and the front gate was an MRAP, and we get 2 MREs a day with 5 bottles of water. That's what we get. But none of us complained. When I was invading Iraq, my oldest son, who's now a 2nd lieutenant in the Marine Corps, was born, and I didn't get to see him till 6 or 7 months later. And that's just the name of the game. But the thing is, this is what we train for. This is what we want to do because we signed up for this. Well, it's an election year, Carl. This is the outrage comes out, right? I mean, no one talks about the USS Nimitz, who deployed for 270 days before Epic Fury, the USS Carl Vinson, who did it for 269 days, Harry S. Truman, that was getting shot at in the Red Sea by the Houthis using Iranian weapons for 252 days, Theodore Roosevelt before that for 264 days, and the Dwight D. Eisenhower for 277 days. It's just an election year, so let's pick on President Trump and what he's doing right now, which is freeing the world from these Iranian tyrannical lunatics.
Bingo, but quite a difference in those ads, huh?
Yeah. By the way, this fits the scenario when we talk to people like Dr. George Barna, who does the research, especially now what's happening with young men being, they're investigating faith. They're looking for, they're easily swayed into the wrong things. Yeah. But they are attracted to structure. They're attracted to strength and masculinity. Right. And the military provides all of that, very tight structure. And so the recruiting numbers are through the roof.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're just listening on radio, you didn't get to see the visuals. The voiceover work itself was just dramatic. Peace through strength. Well, can you come?
Was that Pete?
Yeah, I don't know who that. No, I think it was a Hegseth. I know, but the other one was. Come sign up for the military. We'll spread love and DEI.
Well, it's a different day.
It's amazing.
And changing the name from defense to war, it has been very attractive to young men, and especially in a world where there is really no encouragement for a future. Now, the flip side of that, I had a guy on the other day, and we're talking about how young men are now starting their own businesses. 560,000 new business applications in the month of July by Gen Zers.
Really? Wow.
So there's some moving going on that you'll never see or sense in the press because they don't want you to have this kind of stuff. Right. But the military has become extremely attractive to young men these days. All branches. Wow. Which now you can add SpaceX. I don't know what you do in SpaceX. Maybe you go to space. I don't know.
Something.
But it's cool. I think, obviously it's the new frontier. Yeah. But anyway. Young men are attracted to it. All right, we're gonna. What is today? Spumoni?
Spumoni all day long.
Yeah, that is. It's Friday. Why not? We'll be right back.
Would you be free from the burden of sin? There's power in the blood. Power in the blood.
Your yard is where life happens, but it can be muddy and hard to maintain. Enjoy a maintenance-free artificial turf lawn all year round with Smart Lawn LLC. No mowing, no fertilizing, no watering. Our synthetic grass is beautiful and resilient. It's certified to be lead-free, and there's no need for pesticides. Safe for your children and pets. Smart Lawn LLC has all your artificial turf and putting green areas covered beautifully. 541-941-3538.
When life feels heavy, your body feels it, your mind feels it. That is why I created Organic Elements Wellness Spa, a place where wellness is not a luxury, it's a way of life. Step into our wellness lounge with a Himalayan salt room, infrared sauna, steam room, and invigorating cold plunge. Restore your nervous system, detox your body, and clear your mind. Then experience customized massage, advanced skin therapies, and result-driven facials, all designed to help you look as good as you feel. There's nothing else like this in Southern Oregon. This is your space to heal, to reset, to glow. Call today to book your private wellness party for up to 15 guests or surprise someone special with a gift certificate.
Visit Organic Elements Wellness Spa on East Main Street in Medford. Book online at organicelementspa.com. Wellness is wholeness. Voted best of Southern Oregon. They travel across America to give an answer for questions, doubts, and challenges concerning faith.
The Gospels are historically reliable.
Their mission, present truth, faith, and help people find purpose.
Not based on blind faith.
Join them as they strive to make a lasting impact on lives and hearts for Christ.
They're either all wrong or one of them's right. I got to go to the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Don't miss Give Me an Answer, weekdays at 3 on the Dove TV.
Good, it's time for coffee.
Time for coffee. You know, it's behind the scenes here is a whole nother world.
It's the show behind the show, man.
Yeah, show behind the show.
Yeah.
That'll be our show.
Yeah.
All right, 27 minutes before the hour. Well, the president's calling Economic D-Day campaign, which is supposedly supposed to be the largest economic isolation squeeze ever presented on a nation. And so let's check in with our good friend Chris Mitchell from CBN News, who'll give us the update on that one.
U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the U.S. will have a clear message for other countries in the economic pressure on Iran.
This is going to be the greatest coordinated economic isolation in the history of the world. And we are going to them and saying, you are either with us or against us. You want this murderous regime to end.
Bessent says the plan will require U.S. allies and others to stop all economic activity with the Iranian regime or face the consequences.
If you insist on doing business with them, either transferring money, buying their oil, they're doing seaborne ship transfers, then the U.S. Treasury and the U.S. government, they will put its full might and force toward enforcing against you. So it is time for our allies and the rest of the world to make a decision, and we are going to squash the economy of this murderous regime.
Iran's foreign minister denounced the U.S. economic threats and said those failed policies will stir more hostility among Iranians. Other reports say Iran's leaders have begun implementing measures like rationing in order to survive this economic onslaught, and bet that high oil prices will force the White House to stop. Bessent says the president still has the military option, but believes this economic warfare will work in Iran like it worked in Venezuela and now in Cuba.
Ultimately, I do believe the greatest long-term challenges may not come fast or from Washington or Israel. It may come from the widening of the political and economic divide between the Iranian government and the Iranian people.
Iranian-born Middle East expert Amir Hamidi tells CBN News economic and living conditions inside Iran are abysmal.
Because it's no security, executions are continuing, imprisonment continues, and the arrests are continuous, and the prices are rising unbelievably. They have a problem to get the purchase price of power of the purchasing of their foods and medicine, and they are just waiting. They are waiting to, like a tsunami, I call the people of Iran, it's like a tsunami. It is going to explode.
Hamidi believes the protests will resume.
Absolutely, absolutely. It is just, it's a peace before earthquake. People are waiting because they don't have anything to lose. They don't have employment, they don't have future, they don't have investments. They are thinking about their next meal, and they have no freedom. And because of that, I think it's ready to explode.
And my Middle East Bureau Chief, Chris Mitchell, is joining us now from Jerusalem. Chris, Bessent talked about squashing the Iranian economy. We know the regime is really suffering, especially the people. Can you tell us a little bit about the numbers, some of the numbers behind the challenges, the economic challenges that people are facing today inside the country?
Yeah, pretty startling, George. 1.9 million rial to $1. There used to be maybe a million or less. Inflation rate about 87%. Food increases about 128%. The economy itself contracted nearly 3% in the last year or so, and exports down to zero, according to one of the Iranian officials. So that's all behind the numbers. They're putting an enormous strain on the people of Iran. But as we said in our report, the regime seems to be going into survival mode, doing what they can to survive. But as Amir Hamidi said in our story, and we've reported on this, George, you as well, executions continue, arrests, imprisonment. And while the world is really focused on the price of oil, and especially on the Strait of Hormuz, Hamidi and others are saying it's really important to remember the people of Iran. So this all started back last December with their protests, where tens of thousands were eventually murdered by the regime. So important to pray for them. And as he said, many people say the regime may end with this another tsunami of protests that many expect. And with the weakened economy and a weakened regime, maybe that could topple this regime.
Yeah, and I think the big linchpin is going to be countries like China and Russia that continue to do significant business with the Islamic regime, and the administration has to really put the squeeze on those two countries. Chris, how significant all of this happening when there's an attack on an airbase inside Syria? Bro, what's going on in Syria? What's happening there? Why did the Israelis attack an airbase inside that country?
Well, this is just one signal of a major battle brewing right now in the Middle East. It always had been Israel against Iran. That was the big one, and the U.S. as well. But this attack was very significant. It's a warning to Turkey, because reportedly Turkey was establishing a military presence on that airbase, and that's why Israel hit that airbase. This goes along with Turkey's rhetoric. For example, Erdogan, the president of Turkey, is comparing Netanyahu to Hitler. The foreign minister says Israel is a burden to humanity. And this is all part of the neo-Ottoman ambitions of Turkey, and especially President Erdogan. They want to expand the influence of Turkey, just like the Ottoman Empire really was the empire here for 400 years. So this looks like it's going to be Israel's next major enemy. We just heard video of the Syrian army soldiers chanting the other day, "We are coming after you, Jews." And a very complicated situation, as you know, George.
Okay, so this whole Syria-Turkey thing is just another twist and turn of wars and rumors of wars, in which we ought to not just say it, but understand it's serious. But I cannot understand how the United States much longer can endorse Syria being part of NATO.
No, Turkey?
I mean, Turkey.
Yeah.
What did I say?
Syria.
Excuse me, Turkey.
Yeah.
All right, so I don't understand how much longer that can be tolerated.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And but I don't know. It seems to me that this could really unwind NATO, and it could unwind the United Nations on this very issue. So we'll see. But that's just another twist of all the complications going on with all this.
Oh boy.
All right. Good morning to you. Let's take a look at the weather as you head into the weekend. Here's Alfred.
Here's the look at today's weather from Grange Co-op. Across northern Oregon and southern Washington, cloudy skies for Vancouver and a high of 83. Portland reaches 84, Wilsonville tops out at 86, and McMinnville sees increasing clouds with a high of 84. Through the Willamette Valley, cloudy conditions continue with highs from 82 to 84 degrees. Salem reaches 84, Albany 83, Corvallis 82, and Eugene 83. Central Oregon turns hot with areas of smoke in Prineville and a high of 95. Bend reaches 91 with patchy smoke. Sun River hits 90 with patchy smoke, then cloudy skies. Boise stays hot with a high of 102. Along the Oregon coast, decreasing clouds bring a high of 67 in Coos Bay. Port Orford is partly sunny at 62. Brookings sees decreasing clouds with a high of 53. And Crescent City starts with patchy fog before mostly cloudy skies and 60. Across southern Oregon, gradual clearing develops in Grants Pass with a high of 92. Medford sees decreasing clouds in 94. Ashland stays cloudy with a high of 91. And Klamath Falls reaches 89 under mostly cloudy skies and a red flag warning. In Northern California, Wairika stays cloudy with a high of 93. Redding sees decreasing clouds in 95. Chico's mostly sunny at 94. And Fort Bragg sees decreasing clouds with a high of 59. Around the Bay Area, patchy fog gives way to partly sunny skies in Santa Rosa with a high of 80. Napa's partly sunny at 79. San Francisco's partly sunny with a high of 68. And San Francisco reaches 80 with decreasing clouds. For Central California, mostly sunny skies bring Sacramento to 91, while Stockton, Modesto are partly sunny at 90. Fresno, Visalia reached 99, and Bakersfield climbs to 101 under hot conditions. And that's a look at your Friday weather from Grange Co-op.
Oh, yeah. It's that familiar banjo song there as we know that World War II was raging, but on this day in history, a movie that has touched hearts around the world was released in the U.S. On August 21st, 1942, in the middle of World War II, Walt Disney released Bambi, a film that would eventually become one of the most beloved animated movies ever made. But getting Bambi onto the screen was anything but easy. Disney's artists spent years studying real deer and other forest animals, even keeping live animals at the studio so animators could study their movements and behavior. And the artwork was revolutionary. Artist Tyrus Wong created impressionistic forest paintings that inspired the film's beautiful, almost dreamlike backgrounds. Disney even experimented with oil paint techniques to give the forest greater depth and richness. Ironically, audiences weren't immediately impressed. Because of the war, Bambi failed to recover its production costs on its original release. It finally began turning a profit when it was re-released in 1947. And today, Bambi is considered a masterpiece and proof that sometimes the classics just need a second chance.
Well,
all right, Bambi.
Bambi.
Yeah, it's beautiful. But again, one of those classics, like The Wizard of Oz. It wasn't too popular initially, didn't make money. But give it a second chance; it'll catch on, and it did.
It did, and it worked out pretty well because at the end of the day, Bambi now is the smallest unit that Airstream makes.
That is true, and has been for quite some time.
Just thought I'd throw that out there.
That's great. Yes.
All right. Anyway, good morning to you. Happy Friday. Your children, do they feel what you feel? And should you help them feel what you feel so that when they get older and they feel the same thing, they have been kind of coached on how to handle it?
Yeah, or do you want to shield them? There's that urge.
There's that urge.
Yeah.
Well, Crossway, Allison on Crossway talks about helping our children dealing with lamenting.
When I think of lament, it's helpful to describe that as going to God because of who he is and his character, and crying out to him about what it feels like to live in a broken world. All throughout Scripture, we see examples of what this can look like. And it is a grace to us in our suffering. Because when life really hurts, when things are wrong, we are not left on our own to try to figure out the right way to respond. We can ask all of our questions, acknowledge all of that pain, and bring that to the Lord because he is big enough for them, and he invites us to speak honestly about the pain of living in a broken world. It means that we're not alone to navigate that. He is with us. And it means that we also don't need to find the answers or make it make sense before we can receive comfort, because the comfort is that we're crying out to a God who is with us and never forsakes us. It's one thing as an adult to understand lament and to incorporate that into our life. It's another thing to help our children lament. I think as parents, sometimes we can be tempted to do one or two things. One would be to undermine a child's hurt as maybe not as big of a hurt, right? As adults, we know how awful things can be. The second thing that parents can be tempted to do is to try to fix their kids' pain, to take it away. But the reality is that our kids know that our world is broken. They know that something is wrong. They know that this is not the way that it's supposed to be. And as parents, we know that we can't protect them from all the pain in the world. And so where does that leave us? It means that we can walk alongside our children as they grieve, as they experience pain in this world, and we can model lament, and we can instruct them lament and give them a language and a hope and a comfort when they face pain. When our kids are hurting, when something happens, we can go to our child and say, that really hurts. We can tell God how much it hurts because he made us and he saved us. We hope in what is true. He promises that one day what's broken, he'll make new. And we can encourage our children that God is with you and he always hears your cry. That comfort that we offer our children is the same comfort that we experience as we face difficult things.
That is a great point. Man.
Well, I understand they're humans.
Right. We're going to experience pain in this world.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do with it? Where are you going to go with it? And we see on social media folks who are just adrift, and they don't have a moral compass and a place to actually go with that pain.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's a great message.
Good stuff. All right, we'll take a quick break. What is today? What do we have?
Spumoni.
Oh, Spumoni. Yeah. We're going to go Spumoni hunting. You ever shoot one?
Not yet.
Right back.
Your name is a strong and mighty tower. Your name.
Combining your home and auto insurance could save you time and money. And who doesn't like that? Want surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life? Now's the time to call State Farm agent Rory Wold in Medford.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
There may have never been another time in history when end times prophecy has been more aligned with the culture and circumstances of the world than it is today. I believe there are 10 phenomena we are witnessing today that were recorded centuries ago in Bible prophecy.
Join Dr. David Jeremiah in his series, Where Do We Go From Here? On the next episode of Turning Point, right here on this station.
Weekends on the Dove TV.
Friday, from Disney's Good Luck Charlie.
We all were playing a family and we became a family.
Actress Lee Allen Baker.
When someone says you're never gonna, I'm gonna.
Get an insider's look at Hollywood.
It's a lot of pretending to be something that you're not.
And the revolution that drove her out.
And you realize, I'm a fighter, but this fight is too big for me.
Friday on the 700 Club, right here on the Dove TV. Real Life with Jack Hibbs, now on the Dove TV every weekend. Direct from Calvary Chapel, Chino Hills, Jack challenges today's generation to understand and practice the biblical worldview, verse by verse, addressing key cultural and daily life issues. Deepen your walk with Christ to make an effective impact on your world. Don't miss Real Life with Jack Hibbs, Sundays at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. on the Dove TV. Encouraging and informative.
All right, good morning. 10 minutes before the hour, I had Mark Manila on yesterday. He heads up financial issues. We're proud to carry that program here on the Dove TV program. It was originated by our good friend Dan Celia, and he's in heaven now. But Mark's doing a wonderful job. He's well respected. And I asked him the question about the young men, as you know, where they're being drawn to the military, but they're also being drawn to churches and they're starting their own businesses. He has some fantastic statistics, and here it is.
There's a lot of drivers in it. And it's not just starting businesses. We're seeing investing starting younger as well. Where we saw the millennials starting investing around their mid-20s, we're seeing Gen Z starting investing around 19. That's pretty incredible because that's barely age of consent, to where they can actually sign on the bottom line. There's a lot of incredible things that are going on with this. I think AI is playing a little bit into it, a little bit more than most people think. Because remember, when I started businesses, I had to go down to the courthouse. I had to fill out forms. There was no online applications for anything. There was all these different things. I didn't see them as roadblocks because we didn't know how easy it could get. Well, today you can go online, file all the forms you need to start a business. You also can use AI to help you fill out those forms and to be your accountant, to help you set up accounting, to help you set up, help you understand the legal aspects of what you're doing, to help you develop processes and procedures. So I think the cost to doing business, to starting business, has come down so low now that a lot of people are starting to say, hey, I can do this. I can start my own yard care business. I can start my own delivery service. I can start, whatever they want to start. And they can do it very quickly online with all the tools that are available there.
Interesting.
One of the other statistics is 25% who start fail.
Well,
but 25% who start end up employing 10 or more people within 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the outcome of that.
Okay, next question.
Yeah.
You're a young entrepreneur and you want to start a business.
Yeah.
Where's a good place to live and do that?
Well, look, that takes a lot of spumoni to figure that out. I know. Look, I would invite you to Oregon. Why? Because it's a beautiful place to live.
Absolutely.
We're working hard to get the nonsense out of regulations here.
Yeah.
You know, and one day Oregon will turn red. You just watch. It's just a matter. These things implode. It's number one becomes number 10. It's just a cycle of life.
It is a cycle. Yeah.
All right. So, but I would say investigate Oregon, because if you're going to start a young business and a young family, this is the place to do it.
All right.
That's my sales pitch, and all I can say is, Levi, you owe me $10 and a hamburger for saying that.
Yes, yeah, I think so. Well said. All right, Rogue Valley especially, huh?
He runs the chamber.
I know he does. He's a good guy. Yeah. All right, who you got coming up?
Dennis Neal's going to be with us. He wrote the book called Oregoners.
Oh, speaking of, now this is great.
So here I am inviting people in and people are leaving.
Okay. Yes, I love it. All right. Well, I think we've all lived through the irritation of a very loud neighbor, but this encounter had more than a happy ending. When Heidi Widmer moved into a new apartment in Los Angeles, she was frustrated and couldn't figure out what was causing all the banging and thumping from upstairs. She joked on social media that it sounded like someone was bowling. Then, a few weeks later, she met her upstairs neighbor, 85-year-old Carol. Carol had Parkinson's disease, and when she accidentally dropped her recycling, Heidi saw just how difficult everyday life had become. Carol was living alone with no family nearby. So Heidi started helping, taking out her trash, cooking meals, cleaning, and simply spending time with her. And somewhere along the way, the noisy neighbor upstairs became family. When their story went viral, thousands of strangers offered to help Carol, even raising more than $60,000 for her needs. But the greatest gift wasn't the money, it was companionship. Carol now calls Heidi her granddaughter. And Heidi says Carol has given her something too. She's given me purpose, she says. Sometimes all it takes to change someone's life is simply knocking on the door. Outstanding.
That is a great story.
Oh, yeah. And we've all had those nosy neighbors or those noisy neighbors. Reminds me of a very good friend that Pam and I had when we lived in New York in our young married life. And we had a really great friend, Dan, who lived in an apartment building right across the street from the UN building. And we would go over there occasionally, and we would sit at 7:30 p.m. and watch MASH together and drink coffee. And so we would sit there, and we were sitting there, and Pam and I are sitting in the chairs, and I looked up, and this was in his bedroom. I looked up on his bedroom, and there were these waffle prints, like from a running shoe, on his ceiling. And I looked, and I said, Dan, what is that? And he goes, those neighbors are so noisy in the middle of the night that I was up slamming my shoe.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, my stars.
I'll never forget that.
I thought he was drinking Dove coffee, because that'll make you walk on the ceiling.
Pam and I have laughed about that through the years. Oh, my gosh.
Well, at the end of the day, I realize we all have neighbors that we would like to have move out of the neighborhood. Yeah, so be careful.
Yes.
Your witness is on the line there.
Absolutely.
Nahum, that's a Bible book you don't hear much about. Chapter 1, verse 7, the Lord is good, and stronghold in the day of trouble. He knows those who take refuge in him. So take refuge in him. He knows you. There's a beautiful picture, Mount Shasta from Mount Antelope.
Shall ever be. How marvelous,
The financial world can be a complicated puzzle. Equip yourself to navigate it with financial wisdom, clarity, and confidence, rooted in biblical truth. Watch Financial Issues, weekdays at 5 on the Dove. In a world desperately seeking truth, Cliff Connectley and his son Stuart travel across the U.S. to give an answer for questions, doubts, and challenges concerning faith.
What is the evidence that Muhammad spoke the truth? What is the evidence that Jesus Christ spoke the truth?
Their mission is to ignite a passion for truth, guide individuals to embrace faith, and help people find purpose, engaging skeptics.
It kind of sounds like then that God punished us. The vast majority of chaos in nature is a direct result of God stepping back.
They're driven by a deep commitment for spreading the message of Christ to a world who needs it.
But you see, what Satan has done is he's put doubt in our mind.
Join them as they strive to make a lasting impact on lives and hearts, sharing the love of Jesus with an unwavering dedication.
Because God loves you, and God has given you gifts.
Watch Give Me an Answer, weekdays at 3 on the Dove TV.
The Dove is making it easier to take our trusted, faithful content with you wherever you go with the new Dove.us website and our new Dove mobile app. It's a fresh new way to watch, listen, read, and connect with the Dove 24/7. It's an improved experience for you, designed with easy navigation to help you quickly find what you need. Visit the new Dove.us today and download the radio and TV app for Apple and Android devices. An easier way to experience the Dove.
Alex McFarland Ministries, Tuesday, Saturday, and Sunday on the Dove TV.
Welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and delighted when we have time to sit down with Dennis Neal. So appreciate this man. Now, we have to talk kind of quiet because I think we just woke him up, but that's okay. He's a journalist, a media strategist, author of The Leadership Genius of Elon Musk. He also wrote a book called Organers, yes, how the state chased away business and people. He's also a frequent contributor to Newsmax and the host of the podcast, What's Bugging Me? And you can go to organersbook.com is the website, organersbook.com. Dennis, are you okay?
I'm good, sir. And my profuse and public apologies to you, sir, and your staff for blowing that Wednesday appointment. You know, it is entirely my fault, and I came to that conclusion after an exhaustive effort to find someone else to blame. But it's nothing but me.
Listen, no, we were told that you were taking your third nap, so we didn't want to wake you up.
Yeah, I was up. It's just the phone's off. And that phone is more of a lifeline than we realize. It really is there for a reason, isn't it? Anyway, it's great to see you. And before we begin, I apologize. I must preempt you. I think you gave some of the worst business advice that I've heard in a long time when you very loyally and kindly said that sure, Oregon can be a good place to start a business.
Yeah.
I mean, in truth, Oregon is a terrible, horrible place to start a business. It has some of the highest tax rates in the country.
Yeah.
It has a local feel that's very anti-wealth creation, and yet starting a business, I mean, that's kind of the goal, isn't it? Wealth creation.
Well, Dennis, the reason I said that is because I'm going to run for governor, and I thought I would just try to buy some votes.
There you go. I think it's a great idea.
No, look. Your book is well stated, and it is. It's got a lot of challenges. I'm really hoping Christine wins and turns this thing around. Stupid us if we turn around and put Kotek back in there when she tried to cram a $4.3 billion tax credit tax bill down our throat. You know.
Right, and 83% of voters in Oregon voted against her emergency tax bill, which is pretty amazing. And so they have the best chance since 1982 to elect a Republican as governor. And yet, is the National Republican Party even supporting her campaign? I don't see a lot of conversation, and I don't understand why.
Well, I don't either. Being a former chairman of the party, I've been tracking some money and stuff like that. You know how you do. Of course, you're a journalist, you track it. And I'm talking to the campaign and everything else, and I kind of go, okay, what's happening? Where's the RNC? Where's the National Republican Governors Association? Where's even the state party? I'm going, what's going on here?
They're so accustomed to being number two. Why try harder? As Mad Magazine said 50 years or more ago about, was it Avis versus Hertz? Yeah, we're number two. Why try harder? Yeah, that's what's happening in Oregon. And the National Party ought to wake up, because and part of what I want is not just success for the Republican Party. I joined the Republican Party only in January down here in South Florida. It's because it would send a message to blue states and the Democrat Party nationally. You guys got to pull back from the far left socialist Muslim whip end of the party, and you've got to go back to the middle. That would be good for America.
Yeah. So since you've joined the party, you've kind of lost some longtime friends. Tell us about this experience.
Yes, it's really a sad story, I got to tell you, but also kind of an upsetting one in terms of what it says about our politics today. You know, Larry McMurtry is this Western novelist. I love his books. He had a book out in 1971, All My Friends Are Going to Be Strangers. And that was about a disaffected lead character. Okay, but that's my life because I'm a supporter of Donald Trump. And I'm shocked that my liberal friends of so many years have parted ways kind of over this. I mean, I have a friend since high school, more than 50 years, and he's not returning my texts or my calls. And yet we used to talk once a week, at least. And when finally I asked him, and he said, look, it's not just Trump. It's just that I feel like someone I've known my entire life has suddenly discovered God. And now all they want to talk about is the baby Jesus, which is funny. But after a while, it got me to feel pretty angry about that, because I'm willing to listen to your ridiculously lame, high-minded, moral, liberal views that don't focus on outcomes at all and data and actual facts. So I'm willing to not hold that against you, but you're going to hold my views against me. And then another guy, I've known him since I was at the Wall Street Journal. I helped him get his very first job as a journalist. He's now a super senior executive editor, a big media company. That guy can't return my calls after 2 years of my trying. It's got to be because of Trump. And then lastly, and worst, is a beloved friend of mine from the college paper. He's here in Florida, a successful lawyer. I moved back. I tell him, hey, I'm back from Brooklyn after 40 years. Let's resume the friendship. And he says, hey, I'd like to, but frankly, I find many of your views repulsive. Repulsive? Oh my gosh. And at first, you're hurt. And then there's some anger, though, because I haven't rejected you. Why are you rejecting me?
So, Dennis, what is it? What is it? I mean, we've seen political discourse before in this country, but what is it this time?
This time it's personalized around Donald Trump. Love him or hate him. It's binary. There is no middle, it seems like, because, and I wrote a column on this at one point. I think I wrote a column in USA Today in 2022 asking him not to run again, because maybe we'd have a chance at less divisiveness. But I think that There's this thing inside of us, and I'm going to go deep psychological here, if I may, where we dislike certain bad traits that we are trained throughout society and all of our lives to dislike, such as unadulterated egotism and brash bragging about yourself. We're taught to really look down on that and to reject that. Yet all of us have that in ourselves. All of us want to be recognized for doing something good or want approval, I feel like. At least I always have been dying for the approval of strangers. It's why I went on television. And so up comes Trump. The ego's on the sleeve. There is no apology whatsoever. There is no compunction, no reluctance. The guy has all ego, huge id, or whatever they say. And we're taught to hate that. And so we hate that in him because we fear that we have it in ourselves, maybe. And that's go to a deeper level. But it seems now it's more than just his political stances. How could you be against making America great again, cutting taxes, deposing Iran of the most murderous dictatorship in modern history? How could you be against any of those stances? It's just that they're against the man.
All right, let me add one more dimension to this. We'll dig down a little deeper. What about conservative and even Republicans that hate Trump? And the reason I ask that question, because I often follow that up with, have you ever considered the alternative? What if Kamala Harris got elected? Are you telling me that she would have been better than him? Is that what you're telling me?
And some Republicans hate Trump so much that they say yes. I have a dear friend since the 80s. I just love her to death. And she used to be part of the Nixon White House, actually, long, long ago. And she's a dyed-in-the-wool Republican, and by golly, she just can't stand Trump. Now, and it's the same with the Wall Street Journal editorial page, where Paul Gigot has been running that page for 20 years, probably, I'm guessing. And he's been an insider in Washington, going to those cocktail parties or whatever, I guess, for all those years. And so they detest Trump because he's uncouth. He's coarse. He doesn't understand the real context of the way things work here. And that's exactly why the rest of us love that man.
Okay. Could civility ever return to public service?
Gosh. Well, first, you tell me your thought on that. What do you think?
Well, I think somebody needs to lead the way. I think conservatism, if I can say that, Trump's greatest liability is his demeanor. His greatest asset is his actions. So the question would be, can we set the demeanor aside? Obviously, we can't. So can we create a solid lead of conservatism without being interrupted by all of this other stuff? In other words, I guess more Reagan-esque, if I could put it that way.
Sure.
But it just seems to me public service is supposed to be public service. This is where you give up of your time, yourself, your career, and you go and you serve your fellow citizens for a period of time to make life better. We've turned it into a career where we hate and shoot at each other. And you kind of wonder, could it ever be returned back to civility?
So I think the best thing about your response is that it's all in the leader, isn't it? If we found a leader who has Trump's strength, his actions, but then who's able to avoid utterly disenfranchising and enraging the other side, we have a chance at that. Then again, though, in the social media age of instant keyboard courage, you wonder, can civility ever really return, especially if it is what works? I think there's an argument to say that Trump was needed for this time. Both parties got us to $40 trillion in debt, more than the entire annual GDP of our economy. Both parties did that. And Trump is just is the biggest free spending president ever. He hasn't reined that in, admittedly. Okay. But at least he's exposing the fraud, the incredible waste that's been going on for decades. And only an outsider can do that. And that's why Republicans in Washington detest Trump, and they're hoping to wait him out. That's why Thune hasn't passed the Save America Act to protect elections. It's why the Republican majority has failed to put any of his executive orders and policies into to give them the force of law. They're just waiting for him to leave. And what they're discounting is what Lou Dobbs pointed out in his book, The Trump Century, which I helped him write some years ago, the late Lou Dobbs. And that is that the Trump effect will go on for years afterward. Everything has changed because of this guy. The entire terms of the debate have changed because of this guy. And if that requires a certain amount of incivility and calling out the other side, because more than ever before, the left has gone crazy. They are insane. We have to rudely call them out and say, you guys are simply wrong and almost evil in some cases. I mean, maybe civility is the casualty of that.
Okay, you make a great point. I don't disagree with you. I'm just trying to ask the simple question, could we ever return to civility in public service? I don't know. I mean, it's all the way down.
You know what? I'm going to say absolutely we can, can't we?
Because
we can choose to do that.
Yeah, it's all the way down to school board levels. I mean, we just become angry people. And I totally agree with you, Dennis, in that this sounds odd, but the world needed to be turned upside down. And it's now being turned upside down. The fraud has been exposed. The left agenda has been exposed. Everybody's running. The rats are running like crazy. This needed to happen. And it's being offset by his demeanor. But the point being is, and your point, if civility is the casualty, okay. So let me ask you this question. Will he damage it for a Republican to be elected in 28?
You know, we love to blame all other effects for what is the main person's fault or main person's benefit. And I think it's up to the people running for office. It's going to be up to J.D. Vance. It's going to be up to Marco Rubio. I'm not as worried about that, actually.
All right, good.
Although, do you think, I mean, we do think, though, that the Democrats will continue to run against Trump for years after he leaves office. They're going to miss him so much they just can't quit him. And they're going to be talking only about Trump, and they're going to damn everyone who was related to Trump. In the same way that the then editor of Forbes came out after Trump was reelected and said, hey, any of you people who worked in the first Trump administration, he told them this after he lost the 2020 election, we're not going to ever believe anything you tell us when you're in your new jobs. That's how much bias there was against Trump, even at a formerly conservative magazine like Forbes, where I was the managing editor.
Yeah. No, I get it. It's kind of interesting. So one other question, and that's back to what you're experiencing. So how are you? You're a human being. You got feelings. You got your friends telling you to take a hike. How are you processing that?
I got my own daughter in her 20s telling me, Dad, this is why it's so hard to talk to you. And it's hard for me to get her on the phone for a video call, much less to get her to visit down here. So I'm paying a high price. And I know that some of this must be my fault, Perry. I'm too strident. I'm talking to friends as if, we're debating on Fox News or something. But it's because I've never been more concerned with how crazy the media have gone, how stupidly liberal the Democrat Party that I was a lifetime member of, how stupidly liberal it has gone. I'm so worried about it. And I feel like it's invasion of the body snatchers. And you're grabbing people by the lapels and shaking them and saying, wake up, don't you see what's happening? My gosh, this socialist Muslim alliance taking over the Democrat Party and saying things on the record like, let's abolish the Electoral College and let's get rid of the Senate. I mean, it's just astounding to me. And attention must be paid. You must wake up. And they're not waking up. And so I'm sure I get, as you could just see, a little strident. But I'm kind of hurt by a lot of it. And are they really my friends, Perry? If they can reject me because of my political views and not want to have contact with me, well, they're not there for me anyway. So to heck with them.
All right. No, that's... We'll come back and camp on that. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, check out Dennis's book, Organers, How the State Chased Away Business and People. It's a fascinating book, right, dealing with our backyard, the state of Oregon. And Organersbook.com is the website. You can check out his podcast, What's Bugging Me. You can read some of his stuff there with Newsmax. And, of course, check out his other book, The Leadership Genius of Elon Musk. So quite a bit going on there. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Real Life with Jack Hibbs, now on the Dove TV every weekend. Deepen your walk with Christ to make an effective impact on your world. Don't miss Real Life with Jack Hibbs, Sundays at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. on the Dove TV.
The Life Essentials Interactive Study Bible by Dr. Gene Getz. The first ever multimedia study Bible with QR codes enabling you to view 1,500 videos. Watch on your smartphone, tablet, or computer with Gene Getz teaching Principles to Live By from every book of Scripture. 250 hours of in-depth teaching. Gene Getz has over 60 years of Bible teaching and is a renowned theologian. The Life Essentials Bible is a seminary in a box. Read, watch, apply. Get yours today for your own spiritual growth or as a gift that will minister greatly to your family and friends. Purchase your copy of the Life Essentials Study Bible at Christian bookstores or go to their website, BiblePrinciples.org. and click on Video Search, where you can access all the principles for free. Take your faith deeper. Get your Life Essentials. Study Bible today at Christian bookstores or BiblePrinciples.org.
Orthodox Christianity has existed for 2,000 years. Yet many people know very little about its history, its worship, or the ancient Christian faith it preserves. Hi, I'm Paulina Leiser. Join me each week as we explore the beauty and depth of this historic Christian tradition and its place in the modern world.
Don't miss The Ancient Church, conversations about Orthodox Christianity, Sundays at 6 p.m. on the Dove TV.
Welcome back. Always an honor and great time to have with us Dennis Neal. He is a journalist, media strategist. His latest book, quite popular, The Leadership Genius of Elon Musk. Check that out. And he also wrote a book about us. Who? Oregonians. And he's calling us Oregonians. That's right. How the state chased away business and people. There's a picture of the cover of the book available online. Check it out. Or you can go to Organersbook.com. Organersbook.com. Dennis, I just want to ask you one more question as you are trying to process the rejection of friends.
Yeah.
Has this rejection helped you to define and defend your own soul?
I don't think it's rejection that you should let define your soul, right? It is instead the acceptance and the love that you get and the support. Let that be what defines you. Now, Groucho Marx famously said, I wouldn't want to be a member of any club that would have me. I am blessed or cursed with the opposite. I am dying to be a member of the club that rejects me, okay? I have always been, in my youth, attracted to unavailable women. And women, that you had to chase after to convince to go out with you. And unfortunately here, it drives me crazy that these friends, won't return my calls or won't have a chat about this. And I do think that one reason they're like that is because a lot of liberals are beginning to realize that they were simply wrong about Trump and wrong about their moral high stance and lack of good outcomes. And maybe that's why they don't want to talk to me, because they're embarrassed and they're afraid I'll say, I told you so. I won't do that, though. And life is long and it's recursive. It folds back in on itself. The people you meet keep coming back onto your radar, to mix my metaphors. And so my hope remains that these friendships will outlast these Trump differences.
Well, that would be my advice to you. My advice to you would be don't stop reaching out to them. Don't stop being a friend to them. Don't put them in the category, they hate you, so therefore you should hate them. They're lost sheep. They're broken children. You know?
I think that it's like with an estranged child, so there are entire families that are being disrupted, far worse than my little account of my friends. I mean, grown children in their 20s and 30s who won't talk to their parents because you support Trump. That's terrible that you let that happen. That you, especially for Trump opponents, that you let Trump do that to you and affect your life in that way. It doesn't have to. You're the one who makes that decision. But I think forgiveness is one thing I keep focusing on.
Yeah, I would encourage you to go down that road.
Appreciate that.
The other part of that is it's so interesting to me. Let's just go back to an issue, say like, why is it wrong for us to go after Iran to denuke them?
Yeah.
Well, it's wrong because President Trump's leading the charge. How in the world do you get around that?
Right. Well, I think we might have discussed this, Perry. I think one day historians 100 years from now will be astonished that a slogan on a hat, "Make America Great Again," could be enough to spark fistfights. Who's against that?
Yeah. So where's this leading you?
I'm just going to keep moving forward and calling out, because one of my 11 lessons of Elon in my book, The Leadership Genius of Elon Musk, lessons that we could take from Elon to live a better life and a career for ourselves, is that you've got to stand up and fight back and be heard. The First Amendment right is the foundational right of all of America. It's the single most important right we have, because if we can't speak up and speak out, if we cannot criticize, nothing can get better. You've got to be able to do that. That's what my entire book, Oregoners, is based on. And a problem that's hurting Oregon in terms of fixing itself is Portland polite and Oregon nice. This culture where you're not allowed to criticize, it's rude or somehow wrong to criticize, when criticism is necessary to the process.
Do you see Portland would be an example. I think perhaps New York City might be an example, and that is these policies at the end of the day aren't going to work. And the very people that they're trying to supposedly protect in advance can't afford to be there. We're heading for a wall in some of this stuff, and yet we're trying to be the watchman on the wall of warning it, and they're not listening to us.
Right.
I guess we just have to crash. Is that it?
That's what people in Oregon tell me, that we haven't hit bottom yet. This is like an addict that has to really go all the way. How low can you go? Really, really low, it turns out, before suddenly the turnaround can start, because they're not feeling the pain enough, apparently. And Kami Mamdani in New York, my beloved hometown for 43 years, is making some of the same exact mistakes that the 4 socialist members leading the Portland City Council have made in their city. In Portland, they started issuing tents and tarps, the county did, to let homeless park almost anywhere they wanted. Well, in New York, Mamdani has just allowed a 12-block-long section. That's 1.2 miles, I think, of homelessness going ahead and camping wherever they want on the streets. It's a terrible plan. In Portland, they had preschool for all. Yay! And yet you can't suddenly invent preschools out of nowhere. So they end up having a multi-million-dollar surplus of unspent money that's just wasted. And 310 of their 1,000 richest taxpayers in the county left in 3 years after that tax went into place. And in New York today, they're bragging about free preschool for all. I'm not sure when it became government's role to take care of your kids, but if they do the same job at that they do at issuing driver licenses, oh, God help those children.
Are we going to lose the Trailblazers?
Yes, you are. And you should. Because the team ought to be part of a vibrant economy where people are celebrating. Although, why is it actually, we get so upset at how much a CEO of a company earns. It's providing great services to you. But we don't get upset when some okay players earning $25 million a year. I've never understood that dichotomy. But yeah, I think that if you look at the Trailblazers as a business rather than a community, yeah, well, they should move. I mean, it's the second highest tax rates in the nation after only New York City. And yet you guys in Portland have to wait 20 minutes after you make a call to 911 on a violent crime occurring.
Yeah. You're fascinating. Keep writing, brother.
You are so soulful and make a person, think introspectively about things that they might not have thought about. And every time I get a chance to talk with you, it's always a great opportunity for me. And so I appreciate it so much.
Well, thank you, Des. Likewise. Let's stay connected. You have a lot to say. And I want to say thank you for writing the book. I think it's timely. A lot of people have left our state. I get it. A lot of people are leaving California. I get it. The blue states have this big exit going on. I choose to stay and fight. It's a beautiful state, and it's kind of like, you can be number one in your industry. Someday you'll be number 10.
Yes.
Yeah,
it seems to happen to everyone.
It cycles through. So, God bless you, friend. Let's stay in touch. See you later.
Thanks so much. Have a glorious day.
Yeah.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary sunlit interiors meet old-world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare. Your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living, your home.
The Dove TV is pleased to announce we're now seen in the San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose area via a new full-power TV station, KEDB, seen on cable, satellite TV, and over-the-air. The Dove TV, encouraging and informative for San Francisco, Oakland, and the San Jose area on new full-power KEDB TV. They travel across America to give an answer for questions, doubts, and challenges concerning faith.
The Gospels are historically reliable.
Their mission, present truth, faith, and help people find purpose.
Not based on blind faith.
Join them as they strive to make a lasting impact on lives and hearts for Christ.
They're either all wrong or one of them's right. I got to go to the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Don't miss Give Me an Answer, weekdays at 3 on the Dove TV.
Welcome back, and I can't say enough about this guest. Our audience loves him, and we love him. Pastor Mark Little's back with us. He's an attorney, he's a pastor. He's the host of the Mark Little Show, which is available on all of the podcast platforms, perhaps Apple Podcasts being the most popular. But he is really ringing a lot of bells over there, and you can check it out, The Mark Little Show, Faith, the Law, and Politics, and you can check that all out. TheMarkLittleShow.com is also the website, MarkLittleShow.com. Pastor Mark, good to see you, brother, and I say that truthfully and honestly. Our audience loves you. I get emails when you're on. People think you're the greatest thing since sliced bread, and I have a funny feeling that if I happen to fall off my perch, they want you to come take my place.
If they love me like sliced bread, just tell them to bring a little peanut butter and jelly.
Peanut butter jelly. Good to see you. I want to tug on your other heartstring. I know that you've had and you've been called to minister to all aspects of the issue of abortion, especially women, pre and post. And I just can't get my head around what happened in Massachusetts, and I know you probably can't either, where they can literally take the life of the baby up to the day of birth. I don't know, and there was the governor signing this with women all around, praising and laughing and clapping. And I'm thinking, I've never seen evil give such, I couldn't stomach it. Then I got to thinking about it. I thought, how in the world can a doctor or a clinic do this? I mean, we've reached another level, not only insanity, but of evil. What's your take?
Well, thank you for that. I did that episode last week or the week before. And they're the 10th state, not including Washington, D.C. And I see it as a march across the country that's beyond what Roe v. Wade did. They're crossing all the lines. And the episode that's coming this Tuesday is a follow-on. It's called The Blood, What It Costs and What It Buys. And what we're looking at, Perry, is a culture that is blind. It has traded the altar of pagan sacrifice, and they call it healthcare. This is demonic. It is using blood as a currency to get convenience, to get autonomy, to get their bodies unchanged, and all of the selfish things that happened in pagan sacrifice. And what we have done, and what the enemy has done and allowed the culture to accept, is giving Satan what he wants, which is the closest thing to God, the most vulnerable among us, our children. And if we sit by and allow it, we join and are complicit. We have to keep praying, we have to keep fighting for those little ones that won't make it under the laws like the one in Massachusetts. Pray for Mara Healy. Pray for deliverance. Pray for the Holy Spirit to convict. I pray that he just take down the buildings. They have no place to go.
Wow. There has been some pushback, even from the medical community, saying, hey, wait a minute. If we have a late-term pregnant woman, we can take care of this in C-section in a few moments. Will that gain any traction?
No, because it misses the demonic agenda that's allowed it to get this far. Remember Governor Northam from Virginia? We were aghast when he said, "Well, we'll let the baby be born, and then we'll just let the parents decide if it should stay alive." I mean, these people are marching toward infanticide. So, allowing the baby to come out under C-section is not the point. The point is death. The point is the blood that is spilled, the innocent shedding of blood, which God abhors. We also remember that Barack Obama, I mean, these people support this. Let the baby be born, and then let the parents and their doctor, really the woman and their doctor, decide if it should live. So Perry, we have to see it for what it is, because it's not rational. We can't talk our way around it and try to make sense in our natural minds that are driven and occupied in our temple by the Holy Spirit. We don't get it other than to call it what it is. It is pagan sacrifice. It's Moloch. That's what this is, and we have to stop it as believers. I mean, it's just that simple. They are marching past the restrictions of Roe v. Wade. It's unbelievable.
So, Mark, I got two more questions, and they're big ones. Let me jump ahead and then come back. Can we expect God to do something about this? Are we sacrificing our sovereignty as a nation because of this problem?
Well, that's a good question, because what I learned in my study it wasn't intended to be a series, but the Valley of Slaughter in the Old Testament, where the children we found archaeological what is it called? The archaeologists. What is that word? I'm sorry.
Archaeological.
The people who dug. they found the graves of the children over centuries that were given to sacrifice. And here's my point. Where the sacrifice occurred is where judgment will occur. Right outside the gates of Jerusalem, God said, "Don't put your children in the fire. Don't do it." He forbade it. And Josiah, they would do that in times of war, in sacrifice to false gods. And God says, where you have sacrificed those children, where you have shed that innocent blood, judgment shall also come. So the real answer here for our nation, which we called ourselves doing this year, is not just the repentance, because that's important to turn, and this is for anybody in their private lives who are listening as well. It's good to turn. It's good to turn. Repentance is necessary for us as a nation. But what do you do after you turn? The Bible says, walk in the Spirit to not fulfill the lust of the flesh. That tells us that it's not just enough to turn, but you have to be filled by the Spirit and continue to be filled, is what Paul said. Not just be filled, but continue to be filled. So it's a continuation. And so you have to put something in after you turn. You got to put something in. You've got to have something inside you that continues to convict you to say, now don't go back there. Don't go back like a dog to the vomit. Don't do that. You've got to be filled by the Spirit. And so as a nation, after we turn from Roe v. Wade, what do? I understand it's not a Christian nation, although the founding certainly suggested it was. But so let's just go with that. Let's go with that. Those of us who are the remnant here, believers, what do? You've got to fill not just yourselves, but pray for the nation that it doesn't go back. And what we're seeing with places like California, who tried to do an infanticide bill that I stood with Jack Hibbs and stopped. We have to look at what's happening. There's a march. Socialism is on the march. Socialism is godless, and it's on the march. So what do? What do? It's not enough to turn. Not enough to turn, which we did at the 250th anniversary this year. It's not enough to turn. But you've got to pray and be filled first yourself and then pray for the nation. Christians have to be on our posts as watchmen. If you're watching, you see Satan on the march.
You have spent years, Mark, working with people affected by abortion. It's obviously a major part of your calling in ministry. And since Roe versus Wade, those impacted by abortion has taken on a whole new twist. Now we have this Massachusetts law. I can't even imagine a woman allowing their baby to be taken hours before natural birth, and the impact that woman will have down the road when she wakes up to what she's done. In the meantime, since Roe versus Wade has occurred, we have shifted from the abortion clinic to pills in your home that's crossing interstate lines, has caused a whole nother area of abortion counseling. I know you got your hands and hearts full with this. What are you experiencing?
I'll tell you first that people who might find themselves in a state like Texas doing mail order abortion, they ought to look up the Temple of Satan that has started a abortion by mail hotline, and they call it in the name of Samuel Alito's mother. So you need to understand that the Temple of Satan tells you what it is. It's a ritual for them. So if you're ordering abortion by mail, understand what you're participating in, number one. Number two, what they don't tell men and women, then there are more men, by the way, impacted by abortion, because just the numbers is more men to women. I'm sorry, there's more women to men. So the men are impregnating more than one woman. And so men are hurting too. So this is not just for women, if you're listening, men. Post-abortion syndrome is real. It's real. And what we see, people don't connect the dots through their lives until they maybe hear a message like this, where they never connected why they have anger issues. They never connected why they have, trouble connecting with people. They never connected the dots why they're promiscuous, dealing with alcoholism, dealing with various forms of addiction. These things often relate back to the abortion. And when they realize that that was the starting place, they come and get their healing, and the Holy Spirit walks them through our inner healing program, and we see the Holy Spirit in real time deliver people from the pain, the shame, and all of the symptoms that come with murdering your child. And the good news is that there is forgiveness. There's grace and there's mercy for you, and there is deliverance.
Yeah. There is no forgiveness like God's forgiveness. None. Let me take a quick break. I got more to talk to Mark. We're going to drill down on this a little bit more. Check out his website, marklittleshow.com. That's also his podcast, and it's available on most of the podcast platforms out there. There's a picture of his landing page, The Mark Little Show. We'll be right back.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
There may have never been another time in history when end times prophecy has been more aligned with the culture and circumstances of the world than it is today. I believe there are 10 phenomena we are witnessing today that were recorded centuries ago in Bible prophecy.
Join Dr. David Jeremiah in his series, Where Do We Go From Here? On the next episode of Turning Point, right here on this station.
Weekends on the Dove TV. The financial world can be a complicated puzzle. Watching financial issues equips you to navigate it with financial wisdom and advice rooted in biblical truth.
Just be faithful in what God has called you to do. And He's called all of us to be good stewards, Mark.
Financial expert Mark Manila empowers believers to be faithful stewards while navigating the markets, politics, and economy with confidence.
When we see pricing drop, that's a good thing, I believe, across the board.
Providing you with responsible investment insight, market economic analysis, and stewardship guidance, helping believers align their finances with their faith.
Test all things. Embrace those that are good and abstain from those that are evil.
Whether you're a seasoned investor or just beginning, gain wisdom, clarity, and confidence to honor God with every financial decision. Don't miss Financial Issues, weekdays at 5 on the Dove TV.
Welcome back. Always an honor to have with us good friend Pastor Mark Little with us, host of the Mark Little Show, available on all the podcast platforms. The website is marklittleshow.com. I was just thinking here, Mark, if you ever do a publication, here's the title of it. If you do a newsletter, Mark with Mark.
You already named a little moment with Mark Little. You already named that.
Oh, really? Well, this was M-A-R-K, the M-A-R-K with M-A-R-C.
The Mark with Mark. I better trademark that.
All right. Mark the Mark with Mark. All right, I want to come back to what all of this has produced. We've talked about really the unbelievable evilness of abortion in this country and how it's now gone to a whole new level among 10 states. It's just mind-boggling. The division across the board on everything. Every major denomination in 4 years is divided down the middle over one thing, LGBTQ. So you create those who believe in it and want to accept it and those who don't. So we're in a really anxious time. And here at the Dove, maybe even in your ministry, we're experiencing emails and prayer requests. And if I was to boil all this down, and there's a lot of details in all of these, it comes down to anxiety. The anxiety level of life is at an all-time high. I mean, it's like bouncing off the ceilings high. People are anxious. They don't know where to go, what to do, what to trust. And they're really struggling to try to get a hold of the craziness of the culture. I mean, how can we kill a baby at birth? How can we do this? It doesn't make any sense that we're doing this. It doesn't make any sense that we have $40 trillion in debt. And so the anxiety level is coming up. You're a pastor. What would you say to your congregation right now?
Well, I say it often because these things are all around and they're not going to get any better, is the bad news. The good news is that he's given us a way to deal with it. When Jesus took his last breath, the veil was torn from the top down, and he gave us access right to the throne. And that access is by prayer. You know, we can't make it in this journey without walking with the Lord. Because if we're not walking with the Lord, we're out of relationship, and there's no rock that we're tethered to without it. So the answer, truly, there's all kinds of examples that I give in an episode that I call Finding Peace. Like Peter in jail. No one could access Peter, but his community was praying. Peter was going to be executed the next morning. They couldn't get to Herod. They couldn't get to Peter, but they could get to God. And those people, those saints, those believers in Yahweh prayed. And as they prayed, you know the story. An angel appeared in the cell with Peter, who was chained between the guards, and his shackles fell off. And the angel said with urgency, "Get up, get up." And those chains fell, and Peter pulled up his garments and put on his sandals. And he walked out. Why? Because the church was praying. We have access to change circumstances. The circumstances don't always change, but we have access. Here's what I mean by that. Jesus prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane. He said, "Lord, if this cup could pass." Cup didn't pass. He had to take it. But he was praying. What does that mean? Sometimes prayer just prepares us to walk through the storm. But as we walk through the storm, please remember, Jesus is in the boat with us. So, saints, the answer is you've got to get on your knees and stay there. Because relationship with God in this season is about the only thing that's going to be a medicine to your anxiety. Prayer. Amen.
What's breakthrough to you?
What is breakthrough?
Yeah.
Breakthrough, oh my goodness, that's what our ministry does. You know, I'll answer it in two ways, because when you say it to me, we have the issue of strongholds, which is an issue of our mind. where we talk about the weapons of our warfare and our carnal but mighty and pulling down strongholds. It's the mind. And that's why he says, be transformed and renew your mind. So when that happens, there's a breakthrough. You can see clearly when you transform your mind. So number one, the answer is transformation. That's what breakthrough is. Number two, breakthrough is being set free. Being set free. We're set free in two ways. One way, as an example, in the text. Jesus cast out demons. That's a form of deliverance. That's breakthrough. Being free from demonic bondage. Breakthrough. And in many cases, that can happen like that. In other cases, you need inner healing. Breakthrough. Same thing, just a process. And here's what I want you to know. Breakthrough in the text is being set free. And the Lord said, whom the Son sets free is free indeed. That's breakthrough.
All right, there's one other element to this, and I know if I ask this question, it's going to set you preaching, but I'll tap your shirt tail, hold you down. The book of Acts, kind of on what you're talking about here, the book of Acts talks about that you shall receive power after you receive the Holy Spirit. And yet the people have the Holy Spirit living in them, but they're powerless. What's missing here, Coach?
Oh, you should not have touched that button. Lord have mercy. He says in the text, he says, to those who believe, signs and wonders shall follow them. So what does that mean? Belief starts that text. So you have to believe. When you go to the day of Pentecost, and the Spirit fell in the upper room, and they began to speak in tongues. My God, we have the Holy Spirit in us as a deposit for our eternity. God placed himself in us as an installment for what's to come. Now, if you're walking around with dunamis power, what is dunamis power? Dunamis power is supernatural ability, supernatural power. It's not you, but it is the God in you. And if you believe in what the text says about, he says, I'm going home to the Father. He says, but I'm sending the Comforter in my name. And whatever you shall ask in my name, if it glorifies the Father, that you shall have. We have the deposit of his Holy Spirit. See, I don't have a problem with believing. And so if the Lord tells me to move on something and on someone, I move. And as believers, we have to move knowing that it's not us. Now, you might not see what he's doing when he tells you to move. But please believe me. If he tells you to move, if he tells you to pray for somebody, if he tells you to pray for something, pray in power. Because he has given us not just dunamis power, but he's given us what's called exousia, authority. We have the authority in the earth. We are his ambassadors. Just like when the United States sends an ambassador abroad, we go under the authority and the power of the most powerful nation on earth. It's the same thing. We are ambassadors in the earth. Understand, and don't take it for granted. The word says, death and life are in the power of your tongue. That's an example of what he's given us in the earth. Don't waste it, but it starts with belief. Did you see how I did that? I went right back to the beginning.
You're amazing. I know you're really controlled right now. I know that, and I appreciate that. So, in closing, what are you doing on your podcast? What's the Lord telling Mark?
My goodness. First of all, let me tell you, please watch it, listen, download it, Go over to YouTube, subscribe. The Lord is doing something, and it's amazing. I always said I didn't want to preach weekly, but that's what I'm doing, and I'm loving it. This week coming, it's about the blood, as I said, and I want people to understand not just what Jesus did, but he left this work for us to do. And that's what has birthed the things that I've done. I still do Cure America Action, but this podcast and the work that the Lord has given me to share, I do it out of love for him and out of love for his people. Because there's some things that we just aren't taking time to go deep and to understand, like the blood. It was a propitiation. It opened the door. It's unbelievable when we get into these things that he's put in this text. So that's what he's doing for me. I'm just enjoying excavating the text and then sharing it. So I hope people will tune in.
All right, you can do that at the Mark Little Show on the podcast. They're available on all the podcast platforms. Check out their website, marklittleshow.com. There's a picture of that. Look for his latest publication, Mark the Mark with Mark.
I want to tell your folks to turn to Psalm 91 and just read that for yourselves today.
He who dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. God bless you, friend. Good to see you.
Bless you.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a co-op